Great. And I'm going to add some people. And if forgot to title the thing, but oh well. And if you're added twice or if you're invited twice, I apologize. I'm going to see if I can have her just jump right on. So the reason why I'm doing it on my personal page too is because a lot of the people I'm friends with on the conservative page, I'm friends with on my personal page. And if I can get some liberals to see the truth with DACA and what's going on with not building the wall, who knows? People might wake up. People might start seeing truth. And if that happens, good. If not, well, I feel sorry for you. We have an alarming rate of people who are losing their children to these gangbangers. Doesn't matter if they're Blood, Crip, MS-13, Latino Thug Kings. It gets worse than that, people. It's not just these same hoodlum gangs. There's all kinds of different people. So I'm going to see if I can get her on this one. Let's see, Agnes. All right. I just invited her to get on. And I'm going to see if I can get her on this one too. If she's not on yet. Okay. So hopefully she'll hop on one or the other. Hi, Donna. Please share the video. I want to start getting people knowing what's going on with DACA, why we need the wall, some false promises that weren't kept so far with making sure that the wall does get built. I got a laptop going. I'm not going to do the whole background thing or do like the Dennis Michael Lynch thing because I don't need that. I'm just going to see if I can get her on, have her talk about it, add her onto the video. It is 8:12. So she's going to probably be on at 7:30 her time. That'll be at 8:30 our time. She's in California. Here's what I want to talk about first before she gets on. We have so many people doing the work. We have people in California, people in Arizona, New Mexico, Texas so far with the grassroots movement that are even going out to the East Coast. You have people in the North. People just are starting to wake up to the facts. We know that there are false flags. We know that America is in trouble. We have a crooked Congress with a lot of people who don't care about you. They only care about their own agendas. They only care, sorry, I got two cameras going on, about what their agenda is. I was talking to Jeffrey today, and I'm calling him Hefe, for about 2 hours just on random things. I'm going to be having him on a video tomorrow. And I'm going to start doing these videos, talking about truth, and getting people who have a voice. Like Tanya, she's got a voice. Jennifer, she's got a voice. Lisa, she has a voice. These people are out there doing the work. They're protesting with bullhorns. They're going to their congressmen. They're going to town hall meetings. Something that I want to start getting to do. But I just haven't had the time yet because I have a young child, plus I've been working. But, it's just nuts. It's nuts to think that in the world that we live in, people don't understand how hard it is for parents that are losing their kids. They're losing their kids to not just gun violence. They're losing their kids to gang violence, to illegal criminal activity violence. I read an article the other day where it was talking about this accident. Guys going 70 miles an hour, drunk driving, hits a limo that was carrying a couple that just got married. The woman lost her daughter. It's a horrible thing. And yet, we look at guns. If you follow Tanya, there's Tracy, Lindsay. I've got so many different names of these people who've got pages. So many people are doing the work. And I'm purposely trying to invite some liberals to go on. Don't want to get my brother on because he'll go full crazy with being a liberal, but he probably won't even watch. But get some people to get on. Now, here's the number one problem. We want the wall. At first, we weren't going to get the wall. I remember they were talking about environmental issues, and we couldn't get the wall. It wasn't going to happen because, they were scared that we were going to have to pay for it. I don't know. It's just nuts. But here, let's Google this real quick. Just because I don't remember it off the top of my head. Let's see. I just want to get some facts going real quick. We're going to do some facts on chain migration real quick. Let's see. Chain migration has become a weaponized phrase. That's because chain migration soon could be a weapon. Okay, let's see. And I'm not going to do the whole professional thing. We're just going to bring up some facts real quick. Oh man, so here's some crazy facts for you. 12 Americans are murdered every day by illegal aliens. I like to call them illegal criminals. Let's see, according to the statistics released by a rep, Steve King, Iowa, if those numbers are correct, it translates to 4,380 Americans murdered annually by illegal criminals. That's 21,900 since September 11th, 2001. Just nuts. Let's see. This whole thing with the migration, chain migration thing, is just nuts. So let's see, we still got about 15 minutes. Let's just go over some of the facts. Almost every day now it's possible to hear supposedly authoritative facts about illegal criminalization, I'm going to call it. They want to call it immigration. And immigrants, they're not immigrants. Bounded about the politicians, major media, commentators, and even allegedly objective news reporters. Yes, that's what's going on. I don't know why they keep calling these people immigrants. They haven't immigrated. All right, let's see. Almost every day now it's possible to hear supposedly the authoritative facts about illegal immigration and immigrants bandied about by politicians, major media commentators, and even allegedly objective news reporters. Statistics and other assertions that paint a frightening picture of hostile, disease-carrying, and highly criminal Latino aliens. This is true. Why are we not looking at the facts? Let's see. Bringing in economic ruin to the United States. I think it's all true. I think that it's a nut job that goes on TV and tells us that, our kids are not being affected. Let's see. 7,000 cases of leprosy has been reported in the United States in a recent 3-year period. One of the deadly imports is, in Dobbs' words, the immigration brings in May the night after CBS 60 Minutes. I hate 60 Minutes. I'm not going to read liberal news. I'm not going to talk about that either because those facts are wrong. I know it. I don't read liberal news. If I want to do that, I would just be like some other people. All right, let's see. Here's the other one from the O'Reilly factor. This is from a little while ago. So these kinds of facts generally originate with modern groups of ideologies and congressmen. Let's see, Lou Dobbs' report. I'll read this one. In addition, it's no longer uncommon to hear false or distorted statistics and half-truths coming from more mainstream groups like, the Federation of American Immigration Reform and the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank, and aired in. Okay, so they're talking about the O'Reilly factor. Sorry, there's a glare. I got a light here and a light over here, so I'm trying the best I can. It is 8:18. She'll be on at 8:30. I'm going to let her tell you in her own words the things that are going on in California. We need to pray for California. California and these people are nut jobs. Jerry Brown needs to be arrested and put in jail. The things that they're letting people get away with, I mean, my God, it's just nuts. Strength. People need strength right now. Some pages you can check out. There's the conservative page. I like the Alex Jones fan page. Ira runs both of those. Are pretty cool. Very informative. Tons of information. I'm going to add some people so we can get some comments. I actually called someone the other day who works on the border and got some very good information. Let's see real quick. And we're just starting the video off, so if it sounds like we're rambling, sue us. Nobody's getting paid for this. Nobody has advertising or is selling backpacks. So today I'm talking to Hefe, Jeffrey, and he's going to be doing a video with me tomorrow. And he's just... it's great to get another opinion on what's going on with life and things. And, usually I do a Bible study, and then I do a video, and then we'll share, and then I'll try to get people who are actively out there doing the work to get on. I mean, if you go looking Lisa and Jennifer's post. You can go on their page. Mega, they're Victoria's doing the Make America Great Again stuff. It's just nuts. Let's see. I mean, I wonder if we could even get a real number. Let's see. And this is probably one of the most researched search things, so we'll see what's going on. Let's see. All right. So in 2009, 11.3 million illegal immigrants in America. That's in 2009. Wow. Because I'm looking all over the internet just for random facts. Nuts. So I'll research in a minute maybe, or I'll just let Agnes take over. But the amount of illegal immigrants, I think that they were talking about 1.8 million, which would actually be about 8 point some million. I keep hearing the 7 point some million additional illegal immigrants added with the DACA thing. Have you noticed? I think Donald Trump's good at doing the art of the deal. So a couple of weeks, no, it's already been a couple months ago. A couple months ago, the White House shuts down, right? They don't want to pay the military. They don't want to have the White House and the government open because of illegal criminals. Now they're trying to say that the illegal criminals are getting mad and wanting to leave. Who cares, right? But here's what really matters. The amount of American citizens that have been killed by illegal immigrants, isn't even a real word, illegal criminals that are connected to gangs. All right, let's see if she saw the invite. All right. All right, so she's invited. Let's try this over here. So she's invited on both of them. Let's see if I can do this real quick. And she'll be on in about 8 minutes. So we'll wait 8 minutes for her to get on. Gabe, how you doing? Present. You know what? Hey, man. If you see this, get on, because you have a lot of facts. And if you have a drink, just take one for me, because I don't drink. All right, let's see. Tim's on. We got Gabe on. Marie's on. Who else is on? James is on. Dorita, we kind of went a little bit decline. Okay, well, maybe we'll get you on another video. Let's see. On this one, we have Donna, John, Jennifer, add, share. Let's see if she's going to get on a little bit. Yeah, Linda. I was half tempted to do the YouTube stuff, but I thought I've already been monetized and censored so much on Twitter, it would be a joke. It would be a total joke. All right, let's see. I love when you look at liberal facts, and it says on a conservative website, it says that the illegal criminals has jumped up 11 million. But when you look at a liberal website, it says it's fallen 11 million. So who do you trust? How many undocumented aliens in the U.S.? There are 20 million undocumented aliens in the U.S. Wow. Why do immigrants come to the United States? That's a stupid question. All right, let's see. Because we're the best country in the world when we're not complaining. How do illegal immigrants enter the U.S.? I think we know the answer to that one. Really? This is what they ask? What defines illegal immigration? Okay, well, people who don't pay taxes. There's a start. All right, number of illegal immigrants in the U.S. in 2016. 2017 was what I was looking for. Let's look at this. All right, Randy's on. Keep sharing the video. Keep adding the video. Randy, if you want to hop on for a quick minute to talk about some stuff while we're waiting for Agnes to get on, you can share some information that's going on with your stuff in Texas and what you're doing and trying to help people build. Send me an invite. We will do that real quick. All right. And I promise I will get better on getting people invited. All right. Add viewers to be in the broadcast. Let's see. All right, so I invited you on. See if you can get on. If not, I'll do that. I'll do it on this one too. All right. Sorry about that, guys. This is what happens when you don't have. Let's see. And there are 20 million unemployed Americans. Do the math, right? Exactly. Where are you at, Randy? All right. Cindy's on. I don't have my mic connected, so if you got yours on, I don't know if. See if you can get on. Hit the request, Randy. Gabe, I invited you, but you didn't want to get on. Let's see. Tim's on. There we are. We'll add Agnes in a little bit. Start getting more people and their voices on. So I got a camera here and a camera here. I got a laptop here and lighting. We're trying to do the best we can. This camera looks like a ghost. All right, let's see what's going on. Approve. All right, add. Let's see if you get on there. Oh, trust me, more people are watching than the little number on the top of the screen. Maybe some people who are doing movies right now could get the people's voice going. All right, is it letting you on? No answer from live. All right, Randy. We'll have to have you try again. Okay, and we just started the video, so we're not even doing the video yet. We're just kind of talking, bringing up some facts. Marie, how you doing? James, how you doing? Just looking real quick. Dorita's on. I'm going to try to get Lindsay on during the week. All right. All right, approve, add. I am a talker and a thinker, so I talk out loud sometimes. Patty, how you doing, Patty? Now, I thought that last week Dennis Michael Lynch did a great job on his show. This week, I haven't really been watching. I think he's had some people sit in while he's doing some stuff. 8:28, so she'll probably see the invite that we sent her. All right, no answer. I don't know why that's. Hey, Randy, go to my personal page and see if you can hop on over there. Let's see. Great here in NYC. Oh, man. Weather's 61 degrees here. It's been awesome. It was just windy. So, Randy, go to Eric Matthew Keenan, the personal page. See if I can add you here. See if I can add you on just right here. Randy, where's Nick? Randy, let's... This is why you should have help. But I can do this, so it's not a big deal. We're really just getting ready to talk. Just figured out how this all works. So whenever...
There you go.
There you go. You're on. I'm sorry about that.
Can you hear me?
I'm actually going to add Agnes on. So I'm going to try... Here's the game plan. Here's why Eric's been stumbling his words. We're going to try to get two of you guys on at the same time, and we're going to have a discussion conservatively about what's killing this nation, and it's DACA, and it's not building the wall. To be honest with you, as much money as we spend, billions of dollars that go to states to support illegal criminals, not immigrants, they don't spend money or pay taxes, we could build this wall in no time. So we're getting close. It's 8:29. I'm going to have her hop on either or and see how I'm going to do this. I was going to do phone calls, but we'll do that next week. So tell us, man, what's going on with some of the stuff you're doing? I was trying to jump on your video.
Well, I just got... Oh, well, thank you. I just got through doing a video. I can't stay too long. I have some things that I have to get done, but I wanted to get on here. I appreciate you for having me. You come on a video with me the other day. It was wonderful. A lot of people responded to it. For those of you who don't know, Miss Margaret, that's a friend of mine. She's one of the people who's always on videos. She's a wonderful person to have. She's a good Christian lady. Thank you for coming on, Miss Margaret. Anyway, what's going on in Rockport? They've kind of pushed the issue.
Can you guys,
they've come out and they.
1 second. Can you guys hear? Can I just get a yes or a no? Let me know if you guys can hear. Go ahead and talk. I'm sorry about that, Randy. You can slap me when we meet.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good now. Cool.
Okay. What has happened is they've come and they had a commissioners meeting, and they have stated that okay, EPA's they're going to stop doing the cleanup here. Okay, when they stop doing the cleanup and they don't extend it, that means people who are private property owners are responsible for basically getting all this debris within 10 feet of the easement, or if their house is past code or whatever, it has to come down, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So what happens now is they threw the okie doke. They said, well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to apply to FEMA and see if they'll cover that cost. Okay, well,
but FEMA is stupid. FEMA is
anybody who knows, yeah, and it's a no. That's just it's built up false hope of the people. So what happens now is the EPA is going to push the county, and they got a small budget but not a large one. And the EPA will push the county, and then the county will come in and they're going to start saying, okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take care of this property. Now you're going to pay the bill. Well, they just went through a Category 5 hurricane. They ain't got the money to pay the bill. So then guess what happens? It goes up for auction. They lose their property. Okay. So I've reached out to everybody I could on my video. I'm trying to do the same here if you don't mind. Guys, I don't care what it is, who you're donating to, what you're donating. Get down here. If you got a truck, if you got a piece of equipment, if you can get Sam Sewell some tracks and a grappling bucket for his tractor, Tony at American Disaster Relief, you got Samantha over here, you got New Beginning Ministries. There's lots of actual ministries who are helping these people, okay? Jump in your truck for the weekend, bring your piece of equipment down here. You realize how much you can get done? Because these are people who have spent, the majority of these people, this is a retirement community, basically. You know what it's like on the coast, man. You've been to Florida. They get out here, they want to fish, whatever. And, the middle class individual, the blue collar workers, they just don't have an extra $10,000 laying around. And, some people were insured, some people weren't insured. So, like the Bible says, no love hath he greater than a man who would lay down his life for a friend.
Right.
Exactly. I said it once, I'll say it again. If we had 1,000 people on this video and each one of those people donated $20, that's $20,000.
Yeah, exactly. We were talking about that the other day.
And I got it right, Miss Margaret. A while ago I said $2,000. I had 15 people telling me that my math was horrible. My heart's good, but my math is horrible. So anyway, guys, this is a serious emergency need. I'm praying that you guys can reach out to these people here. There's links on my page. Just every little bit helps. If it's just your manpower, if you got a truck and a trailer, a tractor with a front end loader, whatever it is that you can do, reach out. HEB come to the rescue. All these little 501s around here came to the rescue. It wasn't FEMA, that's for sure, and they're saying, they had the money for this and they had the money for that. Well, I can, like I said earlier, I can walk outside my front door, my own front door, and see the disaster.
People, your living condition. Tell them what you're doing, something that many people wouldn't do. You've left everything behind. You want to go and help these people that are trying to rebuild from these floods. They came and looked at a bunch of these houses and said, oh, they're okay. But you said there was mold and there needs to be a bunch of stuff done. By the way, this is a quick 1-2. Do not go to FEMA. Do not go to FEMA. Okay, go ahead.
And even if you do, even if you actually get something, it takes forever. And then it's the process of the paperwork. Then you get a denial. Then you got an appeal. It's just like dealing with any other agency. So, there was a house here that me and Sam and Danielle drove up on one day. We got his kid. I don't know. No, we didn't have the kids, I don't think. But we drove up on it. There's a bunch of kids out in the yard. And I'm like, Oh, wow, what's going on, Sam? So let's check it out. Well, these kids are all the way down here. I think they said it was either Tennessee or North Carolina. Maybe I'm incorrect about where they're from a church. They were helping this elderly couple clean their yard and stuff. Now, the trailer looked real nice. But when I got inside that trailer, there was nothing. There was no toilets. There was no sinks. There's no bathtubs, no sheetrock. Just a gutted house that looked good on the outside, but was nothing on the inside, covered with black mold all up down the studs. And FEMA had told them that there wasn't enough damage,
Really,
for them to. Yeah. And it's like that. We got houses out here that one wall may be gone. They got a tarp up. We got kids, families living in tents. We got now Governor Abbott did come back and make Rockport and some of the surrounding areas still a natural disaster, and they extended the motel vouchers. But now when they run out, you're talking about 17,000 displaced families. 17,000 from the state of Texas, and that's on the verge of running out again. They stopped the trash pickup here. When they stop that, that means it's a responsibility of the landowner. The real heroes are the people of the community. Heads up to HEB. They were there. The churches were here. Some of the smaller organizations here in town were here. American Disaster Relief, Tony, Sam Sewell, just all the little 501 ministry, New Beginning Ministries. Samantha has the relief camp down there. There are different agencies and stuff here that are local agencies. A lot of what took place is they to different bigger agencies, and then it ended up going to places like Corpus Christi and outside of the cities of Rockport. We're just about to lose each other, I think, brother.
no, you're good. I can hear you.
Okay. Now, we do have a fundraiser coming up on March the 24th at the VFW Hall in Ingleside, Texas. We are having a fundraiser. It's a split fundraiser for the Veterans of Foreign War. They're going to have a dinner. The money that's made from the dinner and whatever private donations go directly to the VFW goes to the rebuilding of the VFW in Rockport, Texas. The other half goes through the New Beginning Ministry / Sam Sewell Rockport Relief Efforts. It will be for materials, tracts, or whatever. It's just, it'll be administrated for the people of Rockport that way. But the problem is now that this has come in, and it doesn't look like they're going to try to extend the cleanup. Hopefully they do. I'm praying that they do. But if they don't extend the cleanup, then it all falls on the people. And then basically, there's no other word for it. It sounds like a land grab to me. And it's up to people like us to get out there and help these guys. And I'm clicking in and out. I don't know if that's.
No, you're fine. It does it with my microphone sometimes. You're good. I can hear you just fine.
Oh, okay.
Well, sure, man. I think it's awesome what you're doing. I'm going to have to get you more when we were talking about the Bible and the conspiracy and the false flags of the shootings and the things that they're really not wanting to let you know about. We have hungry American kids. We have kids that are homeless in America, and yet we keep focusing on illegal criminals, not immigrants. There's kids down the street from my house, literally, that have no home and no food to eat. It's just nuts, the things that we're focusing on too much. The narrative on the TV is just false. I think even when you're watching Sean Hannity and these guys, you're not getting the whole story. Waiting for Agnes to get on. I wonder if she got the invite, so we'll just keep going, man. Do you have anything that you want to talk about or with your mission? I know this is a mission. I saw your Trump behind you. God bless you and your movement. What's going on? I see you get on all the time. That's how I started, man. Get the truth out there. Go out there and disciple the Word of God.
I'm really trying hard not to mix politics with this humanitarian act because it just don't go together well. But I am a political person. But what I'm doing right now, it's not going to make any difference whether President Trump's in office or. What I'm trying to do is, I'm only one person, okay? I was asked to come down here. I don't know what's going on, just like a lot of other people. I depend on Tony. You know, I depend on Sam. If they need me, they ask me to do something, that's what I do. And I don't care what it is, whatever they ask me to do, that's what I'm here to do. But, you know, that's where people are missing the ball. You know, they're reaching out to these great big organizations, and these great big organizations just ain't doing it. It's the little organizations. It's the churches. You know, it's the people here that's bonded as a community that's making these things work. You know, and if you'll look for an organization within the community, you will find a lot more efficient work. I mean, you need to be connected to somebody that knows what's going on. Because if I had to come in here by myself, I wouldn't have a clue. You know, I was lucky to run into Sam. You know, Sam pretty much is
go hand in hand. Amen to that.
Yeah.
You know, and what you're doing is what we're not seeing a lot of the churches doing. So remember that, man. You're doing a great job. I think God called you to get this done. He put this on your heart.
He did. It's exactly what happened.
Video. Politics and values go hand in hand. So no matter what you do, you're always going to be faced with the world, even when you're doing God's work, with the politics and the value stuff. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to see if I can answer this real quick. Stay on the phone. Go ahead. Okay? Hello?
Hi, Eric.
Hey, are you there?
Hi, this is Agnes. How are you?
I'm doing good. I invited you onto the page. Did you see that?
No, I did not. I'm looking for it. What should I go on your personal page?
Yeah, go on my personal page, and you'll see we're live right now.
Okay. I'll call right now. I'll go on it right now. Okay. Bye.
All right. Cool. So Agnes called. She's going to be on in a second. Keep talking, man. You can keep talking. Just because I quit talking doesn't mean you cannot talk.
It's that way. You don't
You're family now. You're
speak when another person's speaking. So, I'm just one person, man. I'm just somebody that this changed my life. And you know what?
Well, I'll tell you what. What you're doing right now opened up my eyes to what I need to be doing. Every day we complain on what we don't have. We complain on the spoiled, rotten things we want to be like everybody else. It's just nuts. Agnes, you're on. Hello. So, do you know my personal page, Randy?
I don't know because I got a troll who evidently don't like me too much, so I get reported about every other day, and I have to make a new page. So,
dude,
I've had 15 pages in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. You're doing a great job. We love you. We're going to send you prayers. I have a prayer list somewhere. We're going to add you on there. Keep doing God's work, man. You know, and keep going live. I know sometimes I used to do it. Man, why am I going live? Why am I trying to get this out there? Why am I trying to do this? Keep doing what you're doing. Don't ever give up. Don't get stressed out. Pray about it. My pastor said something good at church the other day. He said, you know what? We need to pray more. We need to pray more. So, you know, we'll do a quick prayer right now, man. Give Randy some strength. Give him your blessing. And, you know, Matthew 28. Go back into Psalm 1, Proverbs 1, Proverbs 3. We'll do a Bible study on that again soon. And, you know, thank you for everything you do, man. Amen. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'd like to say something to all the people.
I'll go for like 15 minutes. It's my fault. No, just kidding.
There's several people on here that watch my feed. I just like to say, you know, when I get on here talking, I talk what I'm thinking. If there's ever anything that may seem offensive, I'm here for one reason only. That's to do exactly whatever it is I can do to help another human being. You see, I was sitting in my room going through counseling because I had issues of my own. Going through counseling, sitting in the room. I did have an apartment. I wasn't homeless. And literally, God said, because I always focused on my children, what was going on with my kids, where this was at, what was going on with my ex-wife. And he set me up in the middle of the bed. And just like I'm speaking to you, and this is the truth as truth can be, he said, your children are fine.
I'm listening.
You be about your father's work. And so it just so happened that, like, immediately in the very next day, Sam asked me if he could put his post on my page, and I'm like, well, sure. I kind of like had blowed it off, you know, because I get a lot of people ask that. But for some reason, something carried me back, and I looked at this post, man, and I watched his videos, you know, where he dropped his wife off, and when he had dropped and it drove back through the storm on the dirty side. and to get back over here to help those same people that he's given the keys to his house.
Keep talking. I got
children.
my Bible. I forgot it. Keep talking. You're good.
And it inspired me to to try to do something. What have I accomplished since I've been here? A whole bunch of videos, and I lost a bunch of Facebooks. But seriously, I've shared a lot. I've shared a lot of experiences with people. I'm not always well spoken. Sometimes I'll say something that may hurt somebody's feelings, but I never do anything intentionally. I'm as genuine can be. And
well, Randy, check this out. I got something for you. So. Matthew 28:18-20, a student is not better than the teacher, but the student who has been fully trained will be like the teacher. So we're not perfect. No. And
of course not. Of course not.
Of the heart, and God bless everything you're doing, man. I think that's, the hardest thing I've had is trying to do soul winning. And I'm going to try to do more of that. I get nervous. I'm afraid I'm going to get attacked. But, dude, you're doing soul winning with what you're doing.
I used to, and I've had people contact me, say, "Hey, Randy, will you pray for me?" And then I'll get upset about something I do, and I feel bad, and I won't pray for a couple of days. I'm like, I feel guilty, But really and truly, it's just like the Bible says, that we've all sinned and fall short of the glory of God. That there's none righteous, no, not one. And
exactly.
And that's the truth of it. That's the truth of it. And if we know from our heart, if we are being genuine, if we give freely of ourselves without expecting anything in return, then the Lord chooses, then we'll receive blessings. But He knows exactly what's going on. He knows who's genuine. He knows who's not genuine. So we need to not focus on the evil, but focus on God's will. Because anytime there's something that
No, Randy, keep going. I thought you were done. My bad. Keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You could slap me when we.
I have learned anytime something positive and good is being blessed, you can always know that God's hand's on that blessing because it's going to be attacked 10 times harder. And I used to get mad. I used to get mad at God. And I say, man, why are you doing this to me? And then I read something that said God is not a tempter. Okay, and that when he got rid of the demons in that guy's, and he said, now you notice that the house is clean, but he'll come back and it's 7 times worse than it was before. And be exceedingly joyful, be glad when you are persecuted, when you are brought down for my name's sake, for so persecuted was I before you. So I just I'm a long way from perfect, but hey. I try to do the best I can, and if it's God's will, then, it'll prosper, and it doesn't matter what's going on. So, and you're right about what.
2 Peter 2:20-21. I want this to stick with your heart. And this is, I'm not reading the King James Version. I don't know what, I think it's the New Century Version. I have a bunch for when I go and try to talk to people. So it's going to be, they were made free from the evil in the world by knowing our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But if they return to evil things and those things control them, then it is worse for them than it was before. Yes, it would be better for them to have never known the right way than to know it and to turn away from the holy teaching that was given to them. So, good for you, man. I'm not really doing a Bible study, but we're talking about Jesus. Might as well read the Bible and some quotes. I think you're doing a good job.
I make mistakes. I try the best I can. Sometimes I'll even drink a beer if that's what I choose to do. Yeah. But I focus on. I try to stay focused on priorities, and I found out if I put my priorities in just simply accepting today for whatever God allows it to happen, accept it without anger, without labeling it, that it usually comes out for the best because He has control of it at the end of it. So.
Right on, Rick. I'm just
living like a. I'm not living like a king, but
I'm just trying to monetize everything. But hey, man,
but
I want to get you back on tomorrow. You want to get on tomorrow?
Okay. Sure, we can try. I
want you to, share the Bible, man. Share quotes from the Bible, and I'm going to let you finish up and tell us some other stuff that's going on, and then I'm going to get Agnes on. And I might be able to. I'm trying. If Joe Biggs is watching, I want to get Joe Biggs on. So, you know what I mean? The videos are
Joe Biggs.
Yeah.
Sergeant. You're talking about Sergeant Joe Biggs?
Yeah. I'm trying to get
Are
you
you
a big
speaking?
son.
Oh, please give him my information because I have something to ask him, and it's very important. It has to do with what he went through in the military. I have an uncle who's lost his memory, and we know it's because of what happened in the Gulf War. But they're trying to just say it's dementia. It's not. And you know how the Veterans Administration. So anyway, long story, but I'd love to talk to him. But I pretty much sold it up, man. I wasn't expecting to go on another video.
No,
I
you're
appreciate you inviting. So you kind of caught me off guard.
No, God bless you. God bless the work you're doing. You're helping people who need help. That's what it's about. I'll get you on a video tomorrow night. I'm going to put you on the prayer list, man. I appreciate we all appreciate everything that you're doing. Before politics comes people and God. So Matthew 28, go disciple, help these people. If there's a way to go fund you, I believe that's something I want to donate money to. So if there's a way to help with the fight and to help rebuild and to help the people who aren't getting what they need, we need to put our money towards things that is helping people. So text me. You got my phone number, right?
Personally, that's great, but I personally don't accept personal donations. I mean, if someone wants to offer me something,
get a group going, or if you guys want to have a cause, a GoFundMe for the cause. It costs money to have people help. It costs money to have people come and do the work. Nothing's free in this world. Nothing is free. It costs money to drink.
True.
No. So just
there's American Disaster Relief, Samuel Sowell. Either one of those two, you can look at their page. Sam has a PayPal link. You can specify what it is that you want to donate to. There's New Beginning Ministries. There's the relief camp over there. There's several different places that you can help with. I personally am a supporter of Sam Sowell and Tony American Disaster Relief Camps. I mean, I've seen with my eyes what they try to do. One people doing a job the best they can. If you want to pray, man, God's put me where I need to be, but it's the individuals here who are forgotten, who truly need the prayer to be lifted.
Hey, Randy.
Up. Yeah.
Randy, how about you do this? I want you to pray. How about you pray for us, man? Let's pray. We do tons of prayer tonight. How about you pray for us and tell us what's on your heart?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Dear Father, I come to you, Lord, and I ask, Father, that you lift up the community of Rockport, Lord. That I know, Lord, that no sword formed against you can prosper if it be thy will, Lord. Lord, I ask you to lift up all these ministries and these 501s and all these nonprofit organizations and the individuals and the people of Rockport that have come together, Lord. Have them come together in your name, Lord. By your will, Lord, by your power. Therefore, it is fail-safe, Father. It can never fail. Lord, I ask that you help us to forgive our enemies so that we can be forgiven, and that we remember that in all things, it is by your will, Father, not ours. Forgive us of our sins. In the name of our Holy Savior, Yeshua, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen, man. You have a good night. And hop on anytime. Anytime. Hop on. All right?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem, man. You have a good day. Right on. All right. Let's get Agnes on. Sorry about that. Touching this, pressing that, doing the laptop. No wonder why you need help doing this sometimes. How blessed we are. Sometimes we forget about how blessed we truly are. How are you? I have been trying to get you on. All right, hold on. I can't hear you.
I'm doing well.
Cool. We can hear you now. Good. All right. So before we get started, I just want you to tell everybody your background. And, I read some articles that were going on when you were talking about your son. I have a 1-year-old, 7-month-old daughter, and she's a blessing. Even though she's a little hellion on Will sometimes, just digging through everything. I think you see pictures all the time I have her on. Tell us stuff that you haven't told people. Let's start off with some good stuff about your son. He seems like he would have been a cool guy to have a piece of chocolate cake with. It was his birthday back then when we did the live video with the chocolate cake and all that, and we all want to let you know that we love you. You're part of the conservative family page. I'm going to let you take over and listen and shut my big mouth. So
I'm going to let you have the floor.
Well, first of all, Eric, thank you so much for having me. I usually don't get to talk about Ronald. He was just a beautiful little baby, very kind, a good child. He was just a good child. He wouldn't go outside if you told him just stay inside. He was just very obedient, very neat, very loving, very caring. If he had one candy, he would split the candy with you. That's how considerate he was. And he was almost like a little well-mannered little child. Even at age 2 and 3, everybody was really surprised when most people wouldn't want to have a 2-year-old present. They would want to have Ronald because he was always so well behaved and so well-mannered and respectful. Everybody liked him. And as he got older, his little attitude developed, but that's a teenage stuff, nothing out of the ordinary. He was very neat, very particular about his hair. His hair had to be absolutely perfect. There was a little hair out of, worked with it until he got it right. He even ironed his underwear. He was very proud of how he looked. He ironed his jeans, that the crease had to be perfectly in the center, otherwise he wouldn't wear it. But he did that himself. And he liked to play jokes on people. He liked to play little pranks. He had a good sense of humor, the most absolutely beautiful smile that I miss very much.
How old would he have been today?
January 28th, he would have been 45.
45. Okay, I just asking. I was interested. I think I emailed you a long time ago and things got crossed. So much going on. And if you guys have questions and comments, post them. I'm going to look at the questions and then bring them up to you. But keep going. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
29, when he was shot and killed, I was actually camping with my 2 daughters with Girl Scouts. And I got a call. Well, the park ranger woke us up saying that I had an emergency. I had to call home. And I thought something had happened to my mother because my mother was deep.
Second, because there's a testimony to you. Where are you originally from?
I was born in Budapest, Hungary. I was 2 years old when my parents tried to leave as refugees. My birthday is in October, so in December, my parents tried to leave Hungary and they got caught because I woke up in the middle of the night crying. So they took everything from my parents, their money, their suitcase, everything. And the following month, my parents tried for the border again with Yugoslavia, the former Yugoslavia. And this time they gave me a little mixture of something to fall asleep and to sleep through the night. So they rode the train to the last train station. And in the snow, my father carried me on his back. They tied me to him. He carried me. And with another couple that didn't have any children, was my brother, who was 5.5. He walked for hours in the snow to cross into Yugoslavia. Yeah.
And what year did you become a legal citizen for those people who are against the wall and against people protecting their kids, just so we can get that on there? Because I think it's a blessing that you actually hit so many of these points. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We legally immigrated to the United States November of 1970. And in 73, after Ronald was born, I grew up in Brazil. That's where we immigrated to before we came to the United States, because my father was born in Yugoslavia and they wanted us to stay there. My mother said no, so they wouldn't allow us to go to the American embassy. And we had the choice of South Africa, Austria, or Brazil. My parents picked Brazil, and that's where we lived for 13 years. And we, like I said, immigrated here in November of 1970. And in June 30th of 1981, I applied, go back. In 73, Ronald was about 3 months old. I moved back to Brazil with his father, who's Brazilian. And I lived there almost 2 years. And in December of 74, I came back and I have been here since. And I applied for my citizenship papers in June of 1981, And exactly to the day on June of 1983, they called me for a test. It was 120 people. This is at the immigration building in Los Angeles. And I had to do a written test, and very strict. They said, do not look or talk to anybody, because if you do, we're going to take your test. You got to start all over. So I was like this: don't look at me. Don't even look. And there were 100 people in that group, a lot of Asians. And the test consisted of the Constitution of the United States and some history of the country. And it was written, it was true and false, fill in the blanks, little short essay. They wanted to see if I knew, if I could speak English. And when I was done, I raised my hand. They came and got my test. I got 100% on my test. And they say, go downstairs, pay $50 cash, and come back at 1:30 because the judge is going to come.
This is also back in 1973, right? $50?
No. In 1981, 83.
83. Do you know we actually have programs now that will help people become legal citizens that nobody's taking advantage of? And you paid to become a citizen. How blessed are you? You did the work. That's what people need to know. It's not about being prejudiced, it's about being racist, about putting anybody down. It's about becoming legal on your own ticket and paying into the system. So now we're going to jump forward. You're a legal citizen. You're living in California. You took your kids camping, and we're back to your son. And for the people who are watching and going to watch, I'm share this on a bunch of platforms. Give us your son's full name as we get started.
Ronald Da Silva is my son's name, and I'll show you a picture of my little baby. He's a grown-up man. This is Ronald.
He's the only one that can grow a mustache. I couldn't do a mustache. I'm not good at growing facial hair. He's pulling it off pretty well.
He was really good at. Anyways, we were camping with Girl Scouts when the park ranger shined his bright light into the tent, yelling out my name. He yelled, Agnes Gibboney. I says, yes, that's me. And he said, you Agnes? And I said, yes. He says, you need to call home. You have an emergency. So I called my husband, and I'm in one tent with the leaders, the Girl Scouts leaders, the three of us, and my daughters were in the adjacent tent. And of course they could hear, me talking. And I said, yeah, what's up? The park ranger told me to call. And he said, yeah, Tom, who was an Omani detective at the time, who happened to be our best man at our wedding, just called and said that Ronald had been shot. And what? I mean, what happened? Of course, nobody knew anything. And all my husband said is that Ronald was shot on the shoulders, and he's expected to survive. He's in surgery, and everything's going to be okay. So I threw everything in the van and drove back. On the freeway, I called the police department to find out what happened. And of course, they had no information, no witnesses, nobody saw, heard anything. This was about 10:17 p.m. on a Friday. So I was talking to this officer, going back and forth, and she finally puts me on hold. And I'm on hold for maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes. And she comes back, and she was very short and said, I can't talk anymore. If you need anything, you call me. And she hung up. And I remember while I was on hold, I looked up at the night sky, and I said, Ronald, God bless you, sweetheart. It was 1:45 in the morning when I put the phone down. And later I found out that it was then that Ronald took his last breath. He died. He died in surgery. He bled to death. The bullet hit him in the shoulder, and it traveled across, and he severed the main artery. And when I came home, my husband met me in the hallway, and he gave me a hug, and he said, I am so sorry. And I says, oh, no, that's okay. I says, I just want to be there for Ronald, because if you knew my son, he was 29 years old, but he was the biggest baby when it came to needles. He saw a needle, he was out the door. And
so I know Phil.
And all I wanted to do was to be there when he came out of surgery. and to know that he wasn't alone, that I was there with him. And my husband held me back, and he says, "No, you don't understand. Ronald didn't make it." I felt he just go from my head to my toe, and became so disoriented. I called my mother, and I told her that. She said, "Oh, Gloria called," and I said, "No." I said, "Gloria was Ronald's girlfriend, the mother of his two children." And she says, "What's happening with my Ronald?" And I said, "Ronald didn't make it." And I couldn't say the word died, because in my mind, Ronald wasn't dead. And I could hear my father in the background yelling, "What happened to my Ronald? What happened to my Ronald?" And when I told my mother that Ronald didn't make it, my mother told my father, and he just let out this most god-awful wailing, crying, and started sobbing. And my mother said, "I'll go with you." So my two daughters and my mother and I went to the police department. They brought a unit and took us to the hospital. There were two officers, one that went in the ambulance and one that followed. And my question to him was, "Did my son say anything?" All I wanted to hear that my son said, "Tell my mom I love her." And he said, "No, ma'am." He opened his eyes and looked up, and then he passed out. He was losing so much blood that his brain wasn't getting enough oxygen. And I was just very torn, but at the same time, I was in such denial that I knew it wasn't my son. I just knew it. I said, "It's not my son," because why would it be Ronald? This stuff doesn't happen to people like us, it just doesn't. And so we were taken up to the second floor when the officers led into another room just off the elevators, and said that it was a small desk, and I thought, I'm going to have to fill out some paperwork identifying myself. And the officer opened another door, and we were led into another room. They had about 5 chairs on the left and wall-to-ceiling drapes in front of the door. And so I'm talking to the officers, just like carrying on like nothing happened. This isn't happening. And this is like 4 o'clock in the morning already, like 4 or 5 in the morning. And, I'm very tired and numb. I'm just feeling numb. And I'm very afraid to say, "Oh my God, I'm going to be identifying somebody else's or looking at somebody else's dead body," because it's not my son. And I was petrified of looking at dead bodies. And I hadn't lost anybody, up to that point. And then the officer stands to the side with his clipboard and looks down, and he says, "Mrs. Gibboney, your son is behind the drapes." And I almost passed out. I had to sit down and I had to catch my breath. And I thought to myself, I have to do this, because if it's Ronald, I have to be strong for him. So he opened the door, made the drape, and right behind it, there was a window and a gurney parallel to the window. And as he kept opening the drapes, I saw Ronald's face. He was covered with green sheets, little tiny smudge on the collar. His eyes were still taped, and he was still intubated. And I just banged on that window and I said, "Ronald, this isn't funny. If this is a joke of yours, I'm gonna really kick you behind, because this isn't funny." And I just banged on their window. I said, "Let me touch my son." They wouldn't let me touch him, because he wasn't my son. He became property of the state, because they had to do an autopsy, so I wasn't even allowed to hold my son.
And
It's
how did
the most
oh, sorry about that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's the most devastating thing, that you can't even hold a child.
Listen, when I don't know how I would react, I think that's one of the most, especially for a lot of us that just had kids, or our kids are really little, that's something that I can't even fathom. I have an 11-year-old son, and it's so heartbreaking. How was the investigation that came after that? Did the Did the cops, did the FBI, did these people start looking for the people that committed the crime who, and I want to make sure this is clear, murdered your son. This was not an accident.
No.
This was an innocent act. Your son was murdered by someone who was an illegal criminal of this nation. Go ahead. I'm going to let you do all the talking. I'm sorry about that.
I want to bring something to the attention of everybody, because sometimes when they say, oh, he was killed and you get over it, you don't get over something like this. But I wasn't the only one that lost a child. They lost my son, my daughters.
Yep.
They went through a hell also because they lost their big brother. And it wasn't until years later that I found out that how my daughters were treated, especially the younger one in school, by her friends. Everybody walked away because nobody knew what to say, what to tell her, and they just left her alone. Nobody reached out to her.
I'm so sorry about that.
My older daughter was a straight A student. She was having a difficult time. Everybody was having a difficult time. I was in La La Land. I was in another space. I wasn't even down in earth. I don't even remember that first year. And many times over, I told my children to please forgive me for not being such a good mother that I was before. Because I had nothing to.
I just got a question from Debbie. She said, did they find the killer? And we'll get to that in a little bit, but I mean, were they able to find the killer?
I was the one that cracked my own case.
We'll get to that in a minute because I know about that. I'm not going to compare. You can't compare what somebody feels when they lose a child, but just from looking, I remember when I was a kid, my Uncle Matt was killed in a car accident, and he made it through the war in the Gulf, the Persian Gulf War, and my grandmother changed, my mom changed, my aunts changed, my cousins changed. You don't get over something like that. And we'll always have you on the prayer list, but continue. I think people need to hear the whole story, because with Mega and all this other stuff that I'm starting to get involved with, you're going to be the first person we go and get the full story out there, because I think that you're being brushed aside. So go ahead and take over, and I'm going to shut up.
Anyway, so when we came back from the police station, I asked what happened. And first of all, that same morning when the officer brought us back to El Monte, where my son was killed, I told him that I wanted to drive by where my son was killed. I wanted to go there. And I didn't know that friend of his, and he knew everybody in the city because he grew up there. And I couldn't get near the house because they had yellow tape all around. And I knew one of the youngest grandson was in the house. They finally let them in. And I had to ask the detective to let him out because he didn't need to wake up in the morning and see all the yellow tape and all the commotion and find out that his dad was shot and killed the night before. And I remember him coming over to me from the sheriff's department and saying, and just very, as a matter of fact, with a notebook, a notepad, and said, "What's your name?" Agnes Gibboney. "What's your date of birth? What's your driver's license number? You're his mother. Where were you at 10 o'clock, at 10:30? Where were you?" And I'm thinking, what, do I look like a suspect?
Yeah, I'm the criminal now.
I felt the questioning was a little harsh, especially to a mother. And to make a long story short, nobody knew anything. Nobody heard anything. I saw a cup turned upside down about 5-6 feet into the driveway. And I asked, I says, "Is that where my son was shot?" And the female officer looked to me. She goes, "What? What cup?" "Oh, no, that's nothing. You know, I'm not stupid that I don't know that there was a marking for something." And but they wouldn't give me any information, any at all. And you know, even treat me with some decency as a mother of the victim, you know. And so I didn't know anything. I was in complete, I was in another world, basically. And this was Friday night. So Saturday, of course, I didn't sleep at all Saturday night. And then comes Sunday, my husband get a call from the station. He was the deputy chief of El Monte PD, and said that the press had gotten wind of that Ronald was his stepson. He wanted to talk to me, and I looked at my husband and says, why do they want to talk to me? I have no information. What do they want to talk to me about? To find out how brokenhearted I am? To find out if I cried? No, I mean, seriously. And I said, no, I have nothing to talk to them about. What am I going to talk about? And I think it was the next day on Monday, we went to the crime scene, and Rob, who was the intended target for this criminal illegal alien, he was going to shoot him in the back, this coward. And I asked him, and I said, Robert, you need to tell me what happened. And he told me what happened. I said, why was it after you? What did you do? Did you hit on this woman? Did you owe him drug money? Did you get into an accident? Or what? I couldn't think of anything else to ask. And he said, no, we got into a fight, and I kicked his butt a couple of times, so he wanted to get even. And I thought, because of his stupidity and self-centeredness, my son is dead. He tried to shoot Robert, but the gun jammed. And by that time, he took off running because they knew the police was coming. The helicopter was hovering. And I talked to him for about 2 hours. And every time I would bring the fact that if he hears anything in the city, to please let me know, he would look away or look down. And I held his face, and I says, Robert, look at me. Ronald was your best friend. If you know something, please let me know. We need to have justice for Ronald. I cannot live like this, not having justice done. And he looked down. He says, I'm afraid. And I thought, thank you, Jesus. Thank you for this. I called the detective to him. We met at an undisclosed location that afternoon. Late afternoon, and they both, him and the other witness, testified. I did the shooter, a lineup of photos, and it was that time that the detective, homicide detective from the sheriff's department, found out who my husband, because I never told him my husband was the deputy chief of El Monte PD. I wanted to be treated with the same respect, with the same way that anybody going through any crime was going to be treated, not with any special treatment at all. And the detective looked at me. He says, so your husband is the deputy chief of El Monte? And I said, yeah. He says, he is. He goes, And he treated me differently afterwards, and I didn't want that. I wanted to be treated the same. But I tell you that this tragedy didn't just affect me, it just ruined my father. He gave up living for 11 years before he went to heaven. My only sibling, my brother, Laszlo, 4 months after Ronald was killed, he was so upset, he was so overwhelmed that my sister-in-law is from Mexico. And to find out that a Mexican individual killed his nephew devastated my brother and my sister-in-law. And I told my sister-in-law, I'm not angry at you. I'm not angry at Mexico. All Mexicans, it was just this one guy that did this. And he needs to pay for what he has done. But my brother had a massive stroke, and the following day he passed. So this guy not only killed my son, he killed my only sibling. My parents had 5 children. I'm the only one alive. And so it took 11 years for my father to pass, and I just lost my mother 2 years ago.
Well, we'll definitely put you on the prayer list. I'm sorry for a lot of the things that you've been faced with. I mean, I can't even imagine. I can't, and we barely touched the tipping point. I mean, I've read articles, I mean, all day today, yesterday, the day before, on how these people just forget. It's disturbing.
You know, Eric, it goes like this. At the funeral, the wives of the officers and the mothers of the students of my daughter's friends for 2 weeks brought us food. And they said, oh, we'll bring you dinner. And I said, oh, we don't need that. I said, we're fine. Trust me, I wasn't hungry because I had nothing but adrenaline keeping me alive. I couldn't sleep. I didn't eat. I wasn't hungry. I wasn't sleepy. I couldn't put my head down to sleep. In fact, when my 2 grandkids came over that night, or the next night, and we camped out in the family room with a lot of sleeping bags and blankets on the floor. We had just moved into my home. We bought a brand new home, my dream home, and the month before. So our furniture for the family room hadn't arrived yet. So it was perfect. We had all the empty room to just lay out blankets throughout the floor. And I remember sitting there watching everybody sleep, watching my daughters, watching the grandkids, just feeling so sorry for them that they're going to have to live with this. They're going to have to grow up without a father. Then comes the funeral. Everybody's there for you at the funeral. But a week later, nobody picks up the phone to call and say, hey, how are you doing? You're left on your own because people think the funeral is over. Everything is done and over with. But they don't realize that your heart is just falling to pieces day by day, and you're barely able to keep functioning. You know, I remember I used to work with special ed children, and I remember when I went back to school, the cafeteria ladies said, hey, everybody, look, Agnes is coming. And they all stood at this little window looking at me, head to toe, like if I had a body coming out of my neck or something, like if I looked any different. I looked the same on the outside, but nobody could see in here.
So Debbie asked, have you contacted the president to let him know yet again another illegal kills another American? And you've actually met Donald Trump, and we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah,
I shared a picture of you with Donald Trump on the page. Here's what I'm trying to do. So if you guys are on the conservative family page, I'm going to have people go live on that page to ask you a question so they can hear your voice, you can hear their voice. So I'm going to kind of do it to where they can jump back and forth. But I want you to keep going because I think this is
Overstreet.
People have no idea what's going on and why we need to protect our kids.
Yeah. I just wanted you to know that Stephanie Overstreet, who's watching, is my daughter, my older daughter. Hi, Stephanie.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm taking this all in because it's different hearing it from you than reading it. You know what I mean?
And you know, Eric, the other thing that's really difficult is the first year, it was a year of numbness for me. I don't quite remember where that year came and went. I felt guilty even putting up a Christmas tree because I had no spirit to celebrate anything. It was one of my son's favorite holidays, but I had to do it for my children. But it was just like pulling a wisdom teeth each time that I had to put on a happy face for somebody else. And the other difficult thing that people don't realize, Ronald was killed April 27. I buried him a week before Mother's Day. So Mother's Day, God, I can't even begin to tell you how difficult it was just to get through the day. And it changes your life. It changes everything about you. You would think that I would become a very bitter, very angry and hateful person. Much to the contrary, I did have a lot of anger and hatred towards the guy that did this to my son. But I turned that energy, that negative energy, into something positive to reach out to other victims of crime. And I ran a support group for 13 years, helping other victims, giving them a voice in court, and making sure that their rights are met and that are followed. Because in my case, I was in court. We went to many court proceedings. The killer's family would sit on one side of the court, my family on the other. the killer's mother came and sat behind me as my mother and I are talking Hungarian. And I looked behind me and I thought, what is she doing here? Is she trying to intimidate me? And later I found out that she had mentioned to her next door neighbor that she said, oh, I heard Luis got himself in trouble. And that mother said, the boy had done something to deserve it. What kind of mother would say such a thing? What kind of mother? So I have more resentment towards her for raising a murderer, for raising a criminal. And now I have a lot of frustration and anger towards our government that did not protect my son. Where is my son's sanctuary city? Where is my sanctuary city? We didn't have any.
I'm going to give the phone number out so people can call in too and ask a question. Because I was just trying to get certain people to share. It's going to be my phone number, which I don't care because I'm going to do a private line with it. It's going to be 505-860-4558. So I'll type it in the comments in a minute. Keep going. People need to hear this. I just shared it on the conservative page. I'm actually going to share it on the resistance page and the Alex Jones fan page. I just wanted to make sure that we have context because the video always plays slower. So you're in control, and I'm just going to pop in every once in a while and ask questions or add the comments or read them to you too. So just keep going and let these people know. This is something that's going beyond what it was when this happened to you too now. And that, I mean, hearing your story makes you want to choke somebody, but that's not godly. We need to stand up as a nation together and as Christians together to protect our kids. So I want you to keep going. There's so much. We haven't even talked yet about the filing, the court stuff that's going on, him basically getting away with some of this stuff. And I just want you to keep talking to everybody. I'm going to be trying to get comments and get the phone number posted because this needs to go viral. So sorry about that. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just trying to let the people know real quick. Are you there?
Okay.
All right, cool. No, you're good. We're good.
I'm noticing that there is some, as I said, I grew up in Brazil, and a very dear friend of mine from my childhood, Salim Ali, is watching. Oi, Salim, tudo bem? I tell you, unless you walked this path, you have no idea what pure hell it is. Going to court and being intimidated by the other side, by the victims, by the offender's family, by their girlfriends, and intimidated, and you're trying to hold yourself in a dignified manner so you can represent your child in an honorable way and not get caught up in their game playing in court and giving you the evil eye. I'll tell you that one time I went to Pomona court, and it just so happened that that day I went by myself, and the accomplice, the guy that took the gun after the shooting, and a bunch of them, there must have been about 7 people went, they left, and the district attorney said, just wait. The prosecutor just said, wait here, come in my office, give him some time to leave. And after they left, probably waited about 20 minutes, and I started walking out, and it's a long, long building. And at the end, there was like a little wall where you can sit next to the grass. And I look and I go, oh my gosh, they are standing there. And I thought, okay, compose myself, chin up, very determined, don't even lock eyes with him, but I'm going to let them acknowledge them that I see them. And as soon as I started passing them, they followed me. I get in my car and I called my husband. I said, hey, did you... we had just moved, as I said, the month before. I called my husband and I said, did you change your address and our license plate to private? And law enforcement, as you know, they can have their license plates private, so somebody can't just run your license plate. And in those days, it wasn't so easy to get your location. But I drove around everywhere. I drove up and down the street. I drove on the freeway, got off the freeway, stopped at McDonald's, got off McDonald's, drove around, made a U-turn. I went everywhere before I came home because I didn't want somebody to follow me home and harm me or harm my family. But I have been very vocal. I was on stage with President Trump when he was campaigning, and I'm very outspoken about illegal immigration. Look, I'm a legal immigrant and then illegal that had been previously deported, murdered my only
Okay.
son. I
Sorry
have
about
to speak up because
that. 1 second about that. Agnes, is this a call for the video?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So we got someone that's calling in real quick. We're kind of going high school on this. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead, man. Ask any questions that you want. I'm trying to show people that we can get the truth out there without spending all kinds of money, so people know what's going on in America. We need to stand up and stand united first. Go ahead and ask your question, make a comment. We love it.
Yes, of course. I was just kind of following the story, and I know a whole lot about it, actually, because I'm kind of a friend of the family's. I was wondering, as far as the dude getting out of jail, like, what right do people have not deporting someone like that?
Well,
sorry about that. I was going to let you answer that.
what is it? Who's the caller? What's the caller's name?
What's your name? Sorry about that.
This is Kyle.
This is Kyle. I think you might know him.
Hi, Kyle. Well,
She said, "Uh-oh." No.
guilty. He's my daughter's best friend from high school. He's like a son to me, like a second son that I no longer have.
She said she loves you. She said, "Don't be afraid." No, I'm just kidding.
Love her to death, too.
And he loves you.
You know, Kyle, in answer to your question, Stephanie and Melissa just got a letter from California Department of Correction this Saturday stating that they will be notified 45 days prior to the release of this individual. I wrote a letter to CDCR this morning to the supervisor of victim services, asking her direct specific questions. Is he going to be turned over to ICE, number one, because he has an ICE hold? What's going to happen? Because California is a sanctuary state, and California is not turning over inmates to ICE. They are just releasing them back on the streets. And this is a real problem because this individual is a crazy individual. In fact, his gang name is Looney, so you can imagine how he is. And I fear that he's going to harm somebody else and put somebody to the same hell that my family has been going through for this past almost 16 years, because you'll be next month 16 years that Ronald was killed. This has to stop. We need to talk to our legislatures. We need to talk to our governor. We need to Kamala Harris, Feinstein, Jerry Brown, all of these.
They all need to go to jail. Guantanamo Bay, just open the door, soap on a rope.
Exactly. You know, it's really not fair to me, not fair to society, not fair to United States that we have to keep these criminal illegal aliens in this country. And this goes beyond bipartisan. This is not a Republican, a Democratic thing. This is obeying laws. We have laws in this country.
Back real quick. And you were on one of the videos. I saw you when you were commenting. This is happening in Arizona as we speak. A vote to make Phoenix a sanctuary city. Lisa and Jennifer, who I promote because they're just crazy friends of mine who are out there waving Trump flags and trying to get the truth. The next city may be your city, so people need to listen to what she has to say. Was it Kyle that's on the phone?
Yep, I'm still here.
Hey, Kyle, call in whenever you want, whenever we do these shows. I'm trying to prove that we can get the truth out there without having to spend money. I have a real job. We all have real jobs. We can stand up for each other. America first, mega. Keep going. I'm going to shut up real quick.
Thank you, Kyle.
No worries. Thank you, guys. That was the point that I wanted to hear about. You know, I agree with you guys. If you got this dude who's already been convicted, I mean, he's guilty, and he performed this heinous act, and these guys are just going to release him back out. I was talking to Stephanie earlier, and they said that he's not even doing fantastic in jail, and that's what they're going to put back on the street. No, I mean that's a harm to the society. It's a harm to this country. It's harmful to the community. It's harmful to everyone. So,
well, Kyle, you know what's wrong about what's going on? the reason why people aren't desensitized to what's going on is because it's not their kid. When you look at Congress and when you look at the Republican and Democrat Party, they don't have their kids fighting in the Middle East. That's why they don't stand for the veteran that comes home and can't find a job. That's why they don't stand for the angel babies. They don't stand for the moms that have to live with this for the rest of their life. Their kids are safe behind a big giant wall by a big giant gate, like the Kennedy kid, who's a complete idiot. And anytime Dennis Michael Lynch wants to get me on so we can get some facts going, we'll do it. But I'm telling you right now, I have friends and family that do the Fox News and all this other news. They need to report on the real news. Go on the streets. See what's happening in little Savannah, New Mexico, in little Phoenix, Arizona, where they have Islam everywhere and they're wanting to take over America. It's disgusting. Sorry about that. I just had to cut in. I almost became Alex Jones for a second. Sorry. But it's the truth. It's such the truth. It's disgusting.
If I can give the viewers a little breakdown on the little bit that I have on the killer, the guy that killed my son. On September of '94, he was arrested for burglary. In October, he was convicted to 60 days plus 36 months probation. Pay attention to the word probation. March '95, he gave false ID to the police, was convicted, sentenced to probation. This is 6 months later. Another 6 months later, in June of '96, he was arrested for burglary again, convicted and sentenced to probation.
Of course, repeat offenses.
August of '97, an immigration judge ordered him deported. And finally, a year and 8 months later, on April '99, he was removed through Otay Mesa in San Diego. On September of 2000, a year and a half later, and God knows when he came back in, he was arrested for inflicting corporal injury to a spouse or cohabitant. And in September 26th, the next day, he was sentenced to 3 years probation and 15 days in jail. Now, my question to you is, and to the audience, what are these judges doing? Didn't the judge see that he had been physically deported a year, 2 years before, and they give him?
You want to know my opinion on judges right now? I'm just kidding.
And then 2 years later,
the judges are being paid off because there's an agenda. DACA right now is the agenda, and DACA babies are votes. So right now they're going against the American patriot, the American family member like Kate, who was killed and shot in the back of the head, and they're more worried about little Guadalupe Lahar. And, you know, that's the sad thing about America right now. In November, votes are going to be coming up, and we're going to be having seats that are open that we need conservatives to fill. Donald Trump is in the swamp. Imagine if you had a bullet and lasers on the back of your head every day. The guy's in the swamp. He's not a monarch. He's not a king. He can't just make laws. We need to get the right people in to work with the president. Once again, like I've said in the past, you are one of many mothers that this has happened to. And your story, we're not even close to the end yet. This is still going on. This is still going on. And your representative, Jerry Clown, who I think should be hand-slapped with 4 digitals and a thumb and some handcuffs, is a criminal. He is a treasonous criminal. Back in the 1700s, he would have been shot in public square, and we would have moved on and had our American citizens able to be safe. All this money we spend on illegal criminals every single day, we could have built the wall twice. So they complain about the cost of the wall. It's disgusting.
Yeah. And you know, look at the other point. When the sentencing came, I was in court with my husband. We were waiting for the jury to come up. You know, victims have victims' rights, right? And I told the prosecutor and the defense attorney that I wanted to exercise my rights to say my impact statement, which I'm entitled to. This guy, we're waiting for the jury to come up. The judge in Pomona says, Mr. Gonzalez, are you sure you don't want to plead this case? And he goes, oh, and I go, good. You're going to go down for 1st or 2nd degree murder. Mr. Gonzalez, are you sure you don't want to plead the case? Because you should plead the case because you would still be a young man when you come out of prison and still have a life. And he said no. And I look at my husband and I says, why doesn't this judge just shut his mouth? And then a 3rd time, he says, Mr. Gonzalez, are you sure you don't want to take a plea? So he took a plea, voluntary manslaughter, got the max. 11 years, plus 10 years for using a firearm. And for those who do not live in California, that is something that Jerry Brown took away from us too. He took away gun enhancement charges against any gang that uses a gun to kill you or your children. How do you like that one? So he got.
Let me add to that real quick, because I think you agree with me. I had you on a thing a long time ago. Let's add to that. When they take your gun, they're going to take your First Amendment speech. They're going to take the ability for you to find out the truth about what happened to your children. And they want to make your children part of the state. And then you'll never know what's going on. So it's 1776, and we don't want it to be 1984, where they're watching you through your TV, your laptop, and your cell phone. I mean, it's just nuts what's going on. Keep going. I'm in shock right now because you don't hear this in the articles. They don't give you the whole story.
Want to do an article on me because it's too real. It's a fact. And they do the sobbing story. Oh, look at the families. They're being separated. How about my family? That's permanently separated. I can't go across the border to visit or hug my son ever again. I can't buy a Christmas present, a birthday present, because he's gone. You know, how about that? How about calling them?
I'm with you. You know, and it's just like Kate. What was Kate's last name? Was it Stanley, or what's Kate's last name?
Steinley.
Steinley. I always get that wrong. Shame on me. Her family, the guy literally just walked out of prison. And that's happening every single day. It's just disgusting. And you know who's to blame for this too? The liberals who vote these judges in, who vote these governors in, the same people who are liberals that go with abortion and don't call it murder, they just call it a woman's choice. The liberals who go and want to prosecute the Christian or the white conservative Christian male, or the white men and women who are just living their lives every single day. We become enemy number one because they have a goal. They have an agenda. They don't care about the people who killed your son because that's a vote, and shame on them. And Jerry Brown, if he ever hears this, or Pelosi or Waters or any of these, Feinstein, who looks like the crypt keeper, sitting there talking about taking guns away, should be slapped in public. The stupid things they say. And once again, we have you, another mother who lost a child that should not be here without her son.
That's right. And you know,
and all these people are the filth of the nation. Send them to Mexico.
Yeah, coming from Hungary, used to be a communist country. That's what communism did. They control everything you did. They took everything from you to put guns and then slaughtered everybody. You know, to give you a little taste of communism, you couldn't go to church to baptize your baby because it was against the law. My mother had to have my godparents sneak me into a church to baptize me. Then they had to collect vouchers to buy meat to have a luncheon after they baptized me, because you couldn't just go in the store and buy whatever you wanted. You were given a voucher. You could buy only a certain number of kilo, like 1 or 2 kilos of meat a week to feed your family. That's what
Chelsea wants to know, where exactly did this happen in California?
El Monte, California. It's LA County, just outside LA County.
And real quick, Debbie's also telling everybody in Texas they have a big vote tomorrow, which means a lot. Go and vote in Texas. So go ahead. I don't mean to stop you. If you guys want to call in, ask a question, we got all kinds of people from different places on different pages. I'm monitoring it on the other page right now. It's 505-860-4558. Because you know things other people don't know. You've done the research. You know who you need to be talking to and the information you need to get. God forbid this happens to you, but I mean, you probably know things that people don't see on TV that's going on that you've heard from other families. This isn't a white issue. This isn't a black issue. This isn't an issue that's just happening to certain groups and individuals of a religion. This is happening to every single American citizen. It's disgusting. It is very, very disgusting.
Next thing, Eric, is people to call me racist, to call me bigot, to call me communist, and to call me names. I said, if everybody was as racist as I am, there would be no racism. Nobody would know what racism is. I like people for who they are. I have an incredible amount of integrity and honesty. And if you're a scumbag, you're a scumbag. I don't care what nationality you are. If you're an honest person, you're an honest person. It doesn't matter what color, what race, what religion, what anything that person is. It's who you are and what character and values and morals you have. We immigrated here based on the merit system. How do you like that? My father had a job contract. He had to sign, my parents had to sign a document stating we would not apply for any public assistance. And people say, oh, illegals are not collecting anything. The heck they aren't. They get low housing, they get medical. When my mother was elderly, before she passed away, I took her to the ER because she fell and busted her face, poor thing. We sat in the ER for 7.5 hours because it was packed with illegal aliens on medical. How do you like that? It's just insane.
Oh,
and
on top of welfare, free college. You know what I mean? A lot of these people, they're here selling drugs and they're just kicking it on the streets and committing murder when they could be getting a free education. But the white guy or white woman or the pregnant mother is getting rejected right now as they're trying to go back to school and become a contributing member of society, taking care of their family. It's just disgusting. Let's see. I want to read a couple of these comments real quick. It happens so much here in Salinas. It's like a war zone, yet media quiet about it. Amen, sister. Let's see. When I see these people protesting for women's rights in our country, I just want to scream. They need to go to a communist country, which you were talking about. See the truth. It's horrible what you have gone through. Preach. I think they're talking about you. You're doing a great job. They get more than us Americans. My in-laws came over from Switzerland the legal way as hard-working people. Yep. Or as was very hard work. Yeah. So I'm reading multiple screens. My grandparents had to be sponsored. Yes, something they're actually trying to. We'll talk about chain migration on another video. That's a whole nother topic. But right now, I'll tell you this much. It's a war to protect your family. Mm-hmm. And what we're getting is, we have the pharmaceutical system who's trying to get everybody on drugs. When you have parents like yourself who are having breakdowns because they're losing their kids, we need to quit and stand up for each other with allowing this to happen. I don't know how McCain got elected in Arizona. The guy who went and gave weapons to the enemy that our young kids were fighting. We have so many corrupt politicians. Barack Obama, everybody my family keeps praising this guy. And the reason why I say Barack Obama is because he's had the most school shootings in history while he was president of the United States. Parkland is only one thing that happens every single day in poor communities and Americans' family members. They put, it's a eugenics thing. They put Planned Parenthoods in the poorest neighborhoods and want people to kill their babies. And then on top of that, they're attacking mothers and killing their kids by allowing these illegal criminals, not immigrants, they haven't signed any papers, to get away with murder. They're going to jail and they're getting slapped on the hand. And then next thing you know it, they're killing more people. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
One thing that I have a real problem with is the media, number one, does not give our president any credit whatsoever. The man has done exceptionally well, very honorable. He works really hard and has accomplished an incredible amount in a short time. In spite of the opposition that the liberals, the Democrats, put the blocks and rocks and shut the door on him and try to stop him at every step of the way. President Trump is our president. If any illegal DACA don't like it, then get out of here, go back to your country and try to do in your country what you do here and see how you're going to get away with it. And what's really disgusting to me is when I see any kind of protest. I went to a few of them in front of ICE, building a jail here in San Bernardino, and the Mexicans, Latinos across the street waving their Mexican flags. If you're so proud of your flag, go back to that country and fight for your own country. And point number two, if in another thing that I hear all the time, which is I'm sick and tired, the only word that they have learned recently is call you racist. And if they think that California was taken from Mexico and California and Texas is going to become Mexico again, it's going to become the same shithole Mexico is and corrupt. Then you're going to move even farther north to be in the United States.
I agree 110%. And you're on my page, so we say what we want, baby. And that's what people are so afraid to be brutally honest. I'm going to be brutally honest right now. I have family who came from Mexico. I have a grandmother who's from Spain, and they all agree with me, except for the liberal family members. Nobody cares about your marijuana. Nobody cares about your free welfare and Medicaid and all the other stuff you get. We care about our kids. As a person who pays into the system and pays their taxes, I voted for Donald Trump. I knew in my heart that Donald Trump was going to be president because he wasn't afraid to tell people how it is. If you want more sugarcoating and you want to live in a nation full of idiots, then go to Cuba, because right now they can't say anything. They can't do anything, say anything, have an opinion. I bet you right now Bernie Sanders is jumping on a ship and trying to get a job there. These people, and Hillary Clinton, if you stand for Hillary Clinton, right, you're a traitor to the nation. If you stand with Barack Hussein Obama, Barry Cerrito, you're a traitor to the nation. That's Chuck Schumer, Pelosi, Maxine Waters, and the rest of those filthy rats who are also pedophiles and a part of Pizzagate. Let's just leave it right there, and I'm going to let you take over. It's just disgusting, the things that these people have gone away with. And Bill Clinton, that filthy rat.
Yeah, I tell you, I never liked Obama. But before I started getting politically involved, and May will be 2 years that I got involved. I'm not a politician by all means. I do things that I feel it's right in my heart. This is my country. This is the only
Amen. It is your country, and you pay into the system. This is your country.
That's right. And I'm fighting for my country. When I took my oath of citizenship, it said to fight foreign and domestic terrorists. And this is what I'm fighting. I'm fighting for my country because you know what? On my passport, it shows U.S. citizen.
Exactly.
How do you like it? Because I have a passport because I legally.
Amen. Let me put this to you, and I want to get your opinion. Have you noticed that since the staged event, we call it Parkland shooting, the staged event that happened in Florida, I'm not saying that people didn't die. People died. False flags doesn't mean that there was nobody killed. Have you noticed nobody's talking about the 33,000 emails? Nobody's talking about Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, what they did with Uranium One. Mueller should be in prison. He handed that to the Russians, and they kept blaming Donald Trump. You know why Donald Trump was sitting there laughing the whole time? Because he knew it was fake. He knew it was fake, and he was chuckling his old 70-year-old ass and just looking at the TV. And you know what he said to himself? These people really are doing smack. I'm sitting here eating KFC and having ice cream, and these people, Mueller, really thinks that the Russian president's going to send 13 people to America. Like they're just jumping on a plane right now going, send me, I'm ready to live in prison the rest of my life. I have no life to live. Send me over there. I want to go right now. I might get away with it and become a U.S. citizen, a DACA dreamer. We have American dreamers right now. I want you to talk to these people and let them know about the legal process that's been going on so far and the updated things with the case. This guy, it's just like Case Steinle and all these other people, and I mean, I know so many other names, I just don't have it in front of me. They are truly the reason why I do this right now. We are living in a nation of ignorance. We have soy boys and feminazis and Antifa and Black Lives Matter. They don't even know what they stand for. They go and destroy everything, and they're giving our country to George Soros in a handbag and the Rothschilds, saying, here you go, the elite, enslave our kids. I mean, I'm sorry that your son's not here right now, but I bet you he would agree with me as a citizen that what's going on right now is crap. And I wish I could slap Jerry Brown myself like Robert De Niro, because that guy's filthy. You know what he did in your state? Sorry about that. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I got carried away.
I want to be first slapping Jerry Brown because that guy is a disgrace to this country. He's a traitor. He should be arrested.
Did you hear where in your state he made it a victimless crime, an assault and battery charge, to purposely give somebody HIV by stabbing them with a needle?
Yep. Well, when Kate Steinle's verdict came out, and I thought, okay, he's not going to get first degree, he's not going to get second degree. But I thought, you know what? He's going to get maybe a voluntary manslaughter or involuntary manslaughter. And I'm no attorney by all means. Not even that. He got a little slap on the hand and walked. You know what that was? That was a message to us American citizens that we have no rights and the illegals are protected and we are not. Fend for yourselves. My son was killed with a gun, and I still believe in the Second Amendment rights. And if you don't like,
I want to say that because we talked about that. Guns don't kill people. This is an infomercial announcement. Guns don't kill people. They don't have legs. But let me tell you something. Liberals who are against Donald Trump will kill people. And here's something nobody talks about anymore. Did you notice the Texas shooting? The good guy had an AR-15, chased down the criminal. It was an AR-15 versus an AR-15, and he saved a lot of those people. And nobody's talking about it because it doesn't go with the narrative. And here's the narrative. We have criminals running our country who don't care about anybody, including our U.S. military. And I'm going to tell you what, if you're 18 years old, and this is going to put away, I have to say this is going to put away the gun argument for those idiots out there that say, take our guns. If you're 18 years old and you're serving our country and you're going overseas to go fight a war that you could be killed in, and you have a military ID, you should be able to drink beer and you should be able to shoot a gun. And if you're an idiot kid like those people in Antifa who live in their parents' basement playing Madden all day and playing World War III, Modern Warfare, you're too stupid to shoot a gun. So I don't care about the raising of age, but let the people who have rights, that pay taxes, that are 18, who have proven they're adults by getting the license to shoot a gun, leave our guns alone. If they're stupid, they should be put in a straitjacket. They don't need a gun. They'll probably shoot themselves. Sorry, go ahead. I had to get that off. Whew, I'm shaking right now. People are stupid.
You're absolutely right. The irony of it all is I never allowed my son to play with guns because I said that's a dangerous thing. You don't play, that's not a toy. And as a little boy, I never allowed him. And I try to always teach my son to have respect for life, for humans. And he would even save a little bug. You know, that's how much respect he had for life. And but you're right. The kids nowadays don't have that sympathy, that empathy towards human life because you're too used to playing the darn video games, kill a cop and blood pouring out everywhere, and they'll start the game over. This is life is not so.
Do you have a gun? Do you have a gun?
Husband does. Yeah, we do have guns.
I'm going to tell you right now, get a gun because they want to make victims.
My parents.
Everybody
I am going to
gun.
Yeah, I'm going to get a permit just before the government takes my rights away, and I will not turn it in. But
NRA, so I'm going to be wearing NRA shirts, and I'm going to be wearing my Make America Great Again hat, and all the loser liberals in my own family, because I have a lot of haters right now. I was told I can't even go to a family reunion. Eat me, because you're going to be in slavery. You're going to be in the FEMA camps and the burn stations wishing you had your gun. I'm sorry, go ahead. I had to turn Alex Jones on this because he's so right. I've been on the Alex Jones show twice, and let me tell you, Bill Hicks, Alex Jones, whatever you call him, I've met him. He's a real person. He's the only one fighting for you people that are out there going, make me a slave. You're in control. Yeah. I'll shut up.
I believe not give up their rights. And I think this indoctrination, this brainwashing starts early on. It starts in high school. And parents need to be more involved with their kids and seeing what kind of education they're getting and ask questions. What is your teacher talking about politics? What does your teacher comment? A lot of parents nowadays are too busy earning a living to pay the high taxes, to support all the illegals. You're sucking up our resources in the country. But we need to, parents need to pay attention what your kids are saying. I went to UCR, University of Riverside, and there was a summit for Mexicans Latino summit on their rights, on how to beat ICE, and I'm just sitting there thinking, how in the world they have the nerve to put a summit, a workshop like this. And a lot of disrespectful Hispanics. And I say it, if you're disrespecting this country, get the hell out.
Amen.
No question where you're from. But I went to the restroom, and this young girl had this derogatory poster about Trump. And as I walked by, I wasn't looking at her because I try not to have any conflict with people. And I just kept on walking. She shoved the poster in my face. And as I continued walking, ignored her, she said, racist communist. I looked back and I said, I
Ignorant.
asked, do you know me? And she said, I'm going to have to plug my phone in. Hold on a second.
Okay. About that.
I asked, do you know me? And she said no. And I said, then you are the racist for calling me a racist. And she just looked at me and I said, in communism, do you know anything about communism? And she goes, what is communism? And she said, well, communism is, it's like when everybody works and everybody gets the same amount of things. And I looked at her and I said, sweetheart, I says, let me tell you something. Why don't you open both sides of your brain? Because I can guarantee you that if you
Linda.
live in this country, you would not like it. And she looked at me, had her eyes like this, like really embarrassed. And then I turned and walked out. And I'm thinking, this is
How many of
stupid.
those people? How many of those people that are in Hollywood that are shooting guns on TV and trying to be a big badass like Tom Cruise and these people that are doing Mission Impossible? You know what I mean? And it's just stupid. And they're doing this gun grabbing thing. Who have yet to leave the country. You remember when Donald Trump was getting like, I'm moving to Canada, and it never, I'm moving because Canada's taken over by Islam. You know, these people are sitting safely like Joe Kennedy III, who had whatever God knows was on his face. I felt so bad for the kid. They're trying to prep him to be a president, and he looks like he was with his boyfriend behind the curtain before the meeting. And, you know, it's like, these are the people that they want us to look at and take seriously.
I know. It's, you know,
Jimmy Kimmel used to have a show where it was all about putting women down. Now he's a feminazi. He's a soy boy. They got him over there and he's like, on what is it called? The Grammys or something like that? Or what is it? The Oscars. And he's over there. He is so good at crying. I've never met someone who's so fake and can cry at the drop of a hat. You know what I mean? It's like, I wonder if they have something you just spray in your eyes and they're like, okay, guys, it's about to go. It's about to put the show on. You know what I mean?
If you notice those old movies where somebody's crying and they have this perfectly shiny little thick little tear, but nothing moves, that's what they do probably. It's all staged and, you know, phony. I didn't watch it. I don't care to watch. I'm not going to support any.
I don't watch crap either. The Illuminati and all these people, that stuff's real. And these people are over there spirit cooking and talking to Satan because let me tell you right now, the devil's like a lion walking amongst us looking for somebody to devour. And he's devouring their souls right now as they sit up there and they go, oh, and I would like to say thank you for giving me an hour and 30 minutes of your time in a liberal movie teaching your kids at kindergarten age to have sex. It's just disgusting. It's a pathetic world that we live in. But God said, don't be in the world or of the world, but be godly. Just disgusting.
You know, I think I have an incredible amount of values and morals that I live by every day. And I treat everybody with respect, even an illegal alien that's here. Yeah, I understand it's got to be really difficult. But you know what? The people say, well, what are we supposed to do with DACA? Nothing. Don't do anything. Don't give them free school, free education, low-income housing. Do nothing. Stop public assistance. They're going to self-deport.
Exactly. Check this out. Have you ever asked yourself, it's almost like one of those infomercials, have you ever asked yourself what happens to Mexico when they're trying to go to Brazil? There's a big, gigantic wall there that they can't get over, but yet we make it our problem, so we always have to cry and complain about why Guadalupe Lahar can't get a fair education. We have illegal lawyers named Fernando who are coming out here and they're like, well, I'm not a legal citizen and I'm practicing U.S. Law. And I'm actually going to go over and tell you on Tucker Carlson how we're right and you're wrong. Well, bye, Felicia. I can't wait till we start seeing mass migrations back to Mexico because there's no incentive. I stand with Dennis Michael Lynch when he talks about the incentive is here. We need to get rid of it. And the one thing Donald Trump hasn't done, and I'm like the biggest trumpeter here probably because I just think that he's doing a great job, put the moms back on the microphone.
Mhm.
Have them do a video every single day to the American public like you're doing right now, and let them share their story. And when people start remembering what happened to Kate, to your son, oh my goodness, I had a whole list, but I lost it 'cause I had it on a little notebook paper.
Some of
It's
them.
just
Timothy's son, Dominic, Brandon.
Yep.
There's just tons of us. Josh. There's tons of us all over, and there's so many more.
You don't hear any more about Bill Clinton and the rapes. You don't hear anything no more about Danny Williams, his black son that he didn't want to have anything to do with after 1996, or how Hillary's really a lesbian and she's been raping people herself. And these poor kids at these pedophile islands. Sorry, you know me, I have to be honest. They're over here flying the crazy airplane, just touching everybody, themselves included. Harvey Weinstein, Charlie Sheen. It's just nuts. These pedophiles. I can't even believe I used to like 2.5 Men. I really liked that show, and I burned my little DVD set. These people need to go down.
Yeah.
And if they have people like you on the microphone every single day on MSNBC, can you imagine 60 Minutes opens with Barbara Walters, and they're like, right now we have one of the mothers right now. She's going to talk about gun violence and why you need your gun. Lock, load, get ammo, because they're coming after everything you own, your house included.
You know, it's really funny how they say, well, they have rights. What rights do they have? Look, I was born in Budapest, Hungary. If I would go to Hungary and say, I want your medical, I want to take a driver's license, they're going to look at me and says, okay, here's the application. Where is your ID, your passport? I don't have a Hungarian passport. Get out of here. They're going to tell me. No, but in California, in the United States, we give illegals driver's licenses. We give them Social Security cards. I would go into Hungary and say, I need medical assistance. You do write your check before you put a foot in the door. No, here they get all the treatments. United States is a great country, and we are not the social welfare of the world. And if they don't like
country, but we are led by idiots.
Yes, exactly. If you went to Mexico, God forbid, and you tripped and broke your neck in those whole streets with, holes that you can lose a child in them, what would happen? You'd go to an emergency. You would have to pay your bill before they'll let you out. They're not going to say, well, we just treat you because you're visiting here. None of that. You're going to pay. You get a ticket. You have to pay up front. You don't get out until you pay your ticket. No, here what are we, suckers or something?
What was that kid's name that was in North Korea? He went to jail. He came back. He lived for a day and then he died. And it was the stupidest thing that they imprisoned him for. And they murdered him. They beat him up so bad and deprived him of food and water that he died of basically being exhausted.
Yeah.
And these people are like, North Korea in the Olympics. So it's so great. The Illuminati Olympics. Everybody just has a torch and everybody's just dancing together. You know what I mean? It's just nuts. We're all doing the rainbow shuffle. It's just stupid. Just stupid.
It is stupid, and I think it's about time. I think our blessing came when Donald Trump said that he was going to run. And when he said he was going to run, I jumped up and I told my husband, there's my president. He looked at me. He says, are you kidding me? He's an apprentice.
Same thing. I stayed up all night long when the votes were coming in, and I was like this. I was like doing this every time he was like went in to sit. I was like, that's my president, baby. I was like over here going, and Hillary Clinton was getting slam drunk. She was like this. She was like, oh my God, we're gonna hang her by the neck. Oh my God. She was sitting there going, okay, well, if I better do as much as I can with my girlfriend, Wiener's wife, before I get thrown in the slammer. She was like,
It was last night. I gotta tell you, it was one of the happiest days. Like I said before, I didn't like Obama, but I never treated him with so much like people are treating Mr. Trump. This is a disgrace. It's an embarrassment to those people, small mind people, I say, because if you have any ounce of intelligence, give him a chance to see what he's going to accomplish. But no, if the man is just
he stands for gay people. He stands for minorities. He was on one of the top shows, The Apprentice, and every single person who won was a minority or a woman. And all these fake charges. Donald Trump slept with the model. Can you imagine you got billions of dollars and that's thrown at you? And he was like this, but wait a minute, I got Melania. Because I got this 65-year-old horse that's sitting in the airplane saying I touched her leg. And I mean, isn't it refreshing to have Melania Trump, a real woman? No offense, and I hope nobody gets offended by this, but Michael Obama is a transgender. We had our first gay president, which was Barry Cerrito, who goes by Barack Obama. Look at the picture. She could play for the Oakland Raiders. I just had to put it out there. Has anybody else done the research? She has a bulge. I'm sorry. I just had to say it. It's been proven. So I have to make you laugh too. You know, I have to make you laugh.
I posted on my page, reposted, somebody posted something, an article that came out about a family sobbing because they're being separated, and I'm looking at this.
No, I'm just kidding. He was 59.
And you know, I made a comment and I said, well, it wasn't even an aggressive. I usually don't post aggressive things, but somebody started saying, well, you're being very judgmental. And you say, I'm being judgmental. I didn't say anything judgmental. And then this Hispanic guy I went on his page and it said he's from Honduras. He said that I'm an illegal too, that Trump is an illegal too, because he has an accent, and his wife. And I said,
you don't know what you're talking about. I'm over here trying to become a legal citizen. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, I had to do it.
You know what I said? I told him, and I said, I says, obviously, I posted it on Facebook. So if somebody has me on Facebook, go check it out because it's kind of funny. And somebody even said, you were a lot nicer to him than I would have been. Well, trust me, I wanted to say some other stuff that I couldn't, but I didn't want to lower myself to his level. But I said, first of all, I said, obviously, English is not your strong language. And in the East, they have different accents as they have in the South. But also,
how many languages do you speak?
I speak 4.
You speak 4 languages, and this guy can't even speak English. So he didn't know anything. Ask me how many languages I speak.
How many languages do you speak?
I speak Spanglish, baby. We live in a crazy nation. I only know 2 languages, English and some more English. We don't even speak proper English. We live in a nation full of idiocracy. I've done many videos on that. I will look at Guadalupe and tell him, hey, que pasa, güey? Hasta la vista, baby. You know what I mean? I don't care where you're going. Build walls.
Hungarian was my native language. My parents spoke Hungarian at home. And moving to Brazil, I was 3 when we got to Brazil because we stayed about 10 months in a refugee camp. So in Brazil, I learned Portuguese. So that's where I went to school. And when we came to the United States, I couldn't speak a word of English. Well, I took it back. I did. I could speak hello, which is pretty much universal, and radio, which is pretty much universal too. And
well, like Gina grew up in Italy, right? So my wife grew up in Italy. She's a Fresques. My family's, I have to make the face like my cousins. We're Gonzalez, we're Gonzalez Espinosa. I mean, it's like, actually, I look like the token white dude, so I just go with my last name, and people hate me for it.
Yeah, there you go.
All mixed and raced. In the Bible, the God says, red, yellow, black, and white, all are precious in his sight. We need to stop making it about color. It's context of character. You're in America, we all speak English, homeboy. Pull up your pants, put your gun away, go get a job, and we'll take it just as seriously as, well, are you taking me a little bit seriously? I mean, have I earned a little bit of respect? No, because sometimes I go off the chain. I'm sorry. We have to laugh too.
No, it's right.
They're taking the laughter and joy of being an American out of our homes. They are trying to make us controlled and depressed.
Yeah, and when we came to the United States for the first year, I didn't do anything. I used to watch Johnny Carson, and I like men with gray hair. It's very attractive. He looked, and I thought,
I thought he was funny. He's not my type.
wondering, I wonder what you're laughing about, because I couldn't understand a thing. And then one day I woke up and I said, I'm done. I'm going to go to school. I went to English as a second language. They usually have five books, and they didn't have any on first book or second book. They only had book 3, lesson 7, and each book has 10 lessons. So I said, I'll start there. Before we finished lesson 7, 8, 9, and 10, I knew more than the people that had taken the class 4 or 5 times. And in the process, I taught myself how to speak Spanish, because everybody in my class, with the exception of one Iranian guy, was spoke Spanish. So I taught myself Spanish.
I'm going to make you laugh. My family, okay, sorry, I grew up being a comedian and an ass, so I just have to be myself. So my family, I got family who works for Fox. I got family who worked on The Simpsons. They think they're better than everybody else. You know what I mean? You know those people, they're like, I'm rich and you have to deal with me. You know what I mean? It's just like stupid, right? And I hate those people, because every time they come and they're like, well, you know, Donald Trump's a bigot and a racist and all this. I'm like, actually, did you know before 1992, Donald Trump got like the most awards for like helping the black citizen get a job? You know, he's given more jobs to the African American culture and the Hispanic culture. And I'm going, man, this guy's, when he was running for president, I remember watching The Apprentice going, I mean, every rap song was, I want to be like Donald Trump. You know what I mean? It was like the beat came down. It was like this. It was like, check it. I rig it. I want to be like Donald Trump. I mean, 3-6 Mafia, all these other worldly gang groups that you probably don't know, but I used to jam them in high school, and I was like, man, I want to be like Donald Trump. He's like $50 million rich, and I don't care about that anymore. I care about the Bible. But he's like, and then I think about Cyrus in the Bible, and I think about how God puts people in control. God puts kings in places and takes them out, Proverbs 2. And I think about this. If you don't know Jesus, I have to become Billy Graham, but I don't even think Billy Graham did that great of a job. So 1 second. And the Lord Jesus came on a divine blind visitation. And here's what happened. I think God took somebody like Donald Trump, like he did Cyrus in the Bible. You know what he did? He opened the doors. Churches have a voice now. Homosexuals actually have a bigger voice than a lot of white Christian conservative males right now. He has opened a door and nobody's using it. And you have, did you know Tel Aviv? And I just read this the other day when I was watching an article and I was reading a book. Tel Aviv has the biggest homosexual numbers. And they're like, Israel's such a bigot country. No, actually, believe it or not, you're saved by grace and faith in Christ alone. It's not by carnal flesh. You know, anybody can be saved at any time. And they keep going back to Donald Trump, and he did this, and he talked about women. I will admit this on camera, and my wife knows I have said things in the past before I was saved that I regret. I have had people bring this up to me and post it, and I regretted. Like, you know, there were things that, you know, men do. Who cares?
Women do it too, you know, and
my wife was like, you don't want to know. And I was like, no, I don't. I don't want to know. No.
Look at it this way. The way I looked at it, I didn't even flinch, because if a man comes to me and says, oh, Agnes, you look nice today, I'm not going to say, oh, my God, sexual harassment. I'm going to say, well, thanks for the compliment. I appreciate that.
Hey, Agnes, were you like this?
You look nice. Am I harassing you?
Feminazism is killing the American family. You have people who want men out of the home. They want to make sure that men are despicable. They're even talking about openly shooting men. They're like, you know, I was watching Greg's Anatomy last night. I don't know if that show's still on. They're like, we were watching Greg's Anatomy last night. I wanted to kill every single one of them. Go feminazis. I mean, these people are deranged. We're living in a state of crisis. I look at all these people and I'm just praying, like, this isn't a Bible, but it's like, you know, one of those things I use. And I'm just going, okay, pray for the soy boy. Okay, pray for the feminazi. Pray for the white person who doesn't understand that George Soros actually owns Black Lives Matter. Pray for all, and the KKK is just like Black Lives Matter. Hold on, I got to do this and don't be offended, okay? Well, that's about the end. My hand to bless the phone. It's that bad. I'm just like, oh my goodness. Ugh.
Yeah, you know, it's just so amazing. some of the criticisms that I get, I try not to read them because, like my husband said, are you going to try to talk to stupid? You can't reason with stupid. And he's right. It's just a waste of time, you know.
Have you ever seen that meme where the guy's talking to the brick wall? You know what I mean? He's like talking to the brick wall. I feel like that talking to my own family. My grandma loves her weed, right? Grandma's cool. She was a young grandma, so she's like 77, whatever. You know what I mean? And she's like, Obama was cool. I get to sit and smoke my weed, baby. Obamacare. And I'm thinking to myself, it's your crazy acid generation that got us into this mess. I don't even know if I'm gonna be alive in 10 years. You got to live your life. You know what I mean? Like you love you, Grandma.
Stuff, you know. This weekend when I found out that letter that my son's killer is coming out even 3 months earlier, mind you, when was it? About a year ago. Well, no, in 2016, even as in June, his release date was in November, and then in May of 2017 went down to September. And November of just this past November, it was August, and then in February went to July, and then now it's April 3rd in March.
I'm telling you right now, we need a revival for my generation, my parents. It's just nuts. I cannot believe this is going on.
No, people need to open their eyes, and I think people get too caught up in being defensive about their party. Look, if my party, I always voted Republican. I became a Republican from the get-go. But if there was an idiot in office, I'm not going to vote for him just because he's a Republican. But unfortunately, a lot of liberals and a lot of liberals vote for Democrats, regardless of how scumbag, lying, cheating criminal they are, like Hillary Clinton. I mean, I can't imagine that she hadn't been arrested for all that she has done.
Well, have you noticed when people get elected, this is what happens. There's no sex in the champagne room. These people are just doing whatever they want. It's just ridiculous. Okay, check this out. I just connected this. Alex Jones was the one who brought out people with Pizzagate. This was really going on. I tripped out because I was like, oh no, Alex, don't do it. You're going to kill your channel. Don't do it. I was like, no, baby, no. And all of a sudden the facts came out. And then he had all these people. Al Sharpton, he owes like $4 million. Sorry, I almost said billion. He's a cheap mouth. He owes $4 million in taxes. Are we ever going to get these people put away? Like, go put the real criminals away. He's a fake pastor who's a political analyst that has no idea what he's talking about. And I really think that if we put some of these people away, we might. Have you ever watched that movie, The Matrix?
Yes. Uh-huh.
You know, when the guy wakes up and all things like snap from his body and he's like, he can't move, he's just slithering. That's what's going on in our nation right now. Everybody wants to live in a fairy tale. They believe everything Obama said. Obama and his real dad, Frank Marshall Davis, and his whore mother that worked for the CIA, and they're just like, I can't believe this is going on. You know what I mean? It's just stupid. I'm so sorry that you're having to deal with this. People are so dumb. How you doing, Twyla? Watch the video. We're gonna and I'm actually connected to a lot of people. You are, Tanya and Melanie, who knows you, and they've been. I mean, they get 10,000 views. I just started doing this again. We're going to make sure that you don't have to go to Dennis Michael Lynch, or you don't have to go on all these stupid talk shows to get the word out there. Facebook's a killer. Mainstream media sucks. I'm sorry for anybody who's thinking about going to college and becoming a journalist. Good luck. And all those people who want to have a liberal talk show or a conservative talk show, good luck. Facebook is where it's at, and now it's going to become this conservative page, which I hope I don't get blocked on Dennis Michael Lynch. I've already been blocked on his page because I said that, don't call out your base.
I like Dennis Michael Lynch did a very nice article about me, about all the tweeting that I did, bringing attention to some of the issues. And I do appreciate that. I don't take anybody lightly, anybody that wants to put my story out, because I'm not representing just myself. I'm representing all the angel moms and all those that we haven't even identified yet, because this is a real big issue and an uphill battle. But we do need to get to.
I like Dennis Michael Lynch. I'm just sick of hearing about the Parkland shooting. I don't care about this no more. There's shootings that happen every day. Down the road from my house, 2 innocent kids were shot. A young girl and a young boy who were living their lives. It happens every day, and we stay so focused on one shooting. We stay so focused on one incident. You have moms all around the nation. Sorry, Gina's killing my video. She has a sneak on. Love you, babe. But, I mean, I care about the people in Parkland. What about all the people in the other states? You know how many people are killed daily in California? It is disgusting. I had to shut the computer because hell just came out of the screen. It was like, I was like, oh no, I better turn that off. That's pretty crazy where you guys are living. Just nuts. Not everything's as nice as Thousand Oaks. I'm just saying.
The way the media works is that
Vegas isn't talked about. I was going to talk about that. I forgot. Yeah, Vegas is not talked about.
The way the media works is they don't want a sound person coming on and telling them a story, telling them the facts. They want somebody to just go, oh, that's the ones that they want. Somebody.
And Gina's right here. She could tell you. We talk about this all the time. There are crisis actors. I hate to be so brutally honest. They have crisis actors that have prepared their lines, which is crying. You know, that's all they do. And Vegas. Did you see that sheriff in Vegas, right? And this is why I don't want people thinking that I'm saying that nothing happened in Parkland. It happened. But when a sheriff's deputy doesn't go into the school, or nobody's trying to shoot back and trying to save a life, there's a problem. These people are worshiping in a Muslim mosque, and they're over there, or an Islamic mosque. Sorry, I had someone email me about a page and a half on what a jerk I was. Islamic mosque, and they're ushering in Satan. So I'm not going to kill this right now, but I'm going to tell you what happened in my neck of the woods. They want you to be scared in a big city. They want you to be scared in a small city. A kid walked in. He was loony. He was on the FBI list. Aztec, New Mexico. You can go look it up. Shot a young boy in the bathroom. Shot a girl in the school. They were promising students who had a whole life in front of them. Didn't get talked about. Only on local news. So they select a liberal sheriff. I have to turn into being smart again. They select a liberal sheriff in Parkland, Florida, who has taken pictures with Hillary. She's taken pictures with Bill Clinton. Everybody's just friends, and they're all just, you know what I mean? And what's going on? The guy drives a Lamborghini. He's got the Top Gun glasses on. Everybody's swimming with this sheriff. He's part of the Islamic State. Now, here's what happened in Vegas. There was more than one shooter from the shooting. Here's what happened in Parkland, Florida. There was more than one shooter. Here's what didn't happen. The sheriff is coming out and telling the truth, along with the FBI and the CIA, who's in charge of finding out what's going on, just like the people who killed your son and many other kids. This is what I think. Take it for what it is. They watched this kid, this poor, stupid, ignorant, idiot kid who was making false claims and threatening people on Facebook and YouTube, and they used him. Just like in Vegas, they use these people. They wait while these people are like cooking their mashed potatoes and slobbering with cheese, and they're posting. The FBI goes, oh, you know what? We're going to use this guy. We're going to wait till he's getting ready to go off, and we're going to make a story. CNN, which is sad, actually, I know someone that works there. CNN, the most liberal, I mean, if you look at CNN, the three pyramids and the sun, they're connected to the Illuminati and all this other stuff. You know, it's just hell burning on the screen. You're trying to shut it. They know this. You don't hear about Vegas no more. Pretty soon you won't hear about Parkland. The only reason why Parkland's such a big deal right now is because people like fathers, like the guy that was on Dennis Michael Lynch show, who I like, and I do like Dennis Michael Lynch. I just think that we need to get to the truth, and we need to stop making films glorifying what's going on. That's what they want. These people want attention. They want attention off the shooting. They want attention off the victims. And they want attention off the school and the school district. They're getting money. They have kids marching by the hundreds. Take the guns, take the guns. I'm not going to math class. You know, I mean, that's what these people do. It's just stupid.
They're just taking the opportunity to ditch school. That's what they're doing. They should be all charged with truancy to start with. I don't understand.
Do you want your money back? I want my money back. If they're not getting an education, put the tax money back into Eric's pocket, because Eric's broke after tax season. Can I get an amen? It's like this. It's like, in the Lord came on a blind visit. The horns come on. You know, I just get my money back. You know what I mean? It's like, what the heck is going on, man?
You know, it's like anything else, like the shooting in Vegas, very tragic. So many people died. What, 52 or 55 or something?
Yeah, 55.
How many injured? I just heard the other day, just this week on the radio, that they collected through GoFundMe, like, I don't know, like insane amount, I don't know, $25 million. And each family is going to get $240,000. For what? You know, I understand the devastation that it's got to be to witness all the shooting and the carnage at the schools. I can understand that, because I went to where my son collapsed after he got shot, and he ran up the next driveway, and I saw there were still smudges of blood on the center block, and I cannot get that smell out of my nose, out of my mind. I still think about that. So I can understand trauma, I can understand tragedy, but when is it that our society is going to say, you know what, something bad happened here, we need to toughen up, we're going to paint the walls, there's not going to be blood on the walls, there's not going to be bullet holes anymore, and now we go back? As if, let's say somebody dies in a house, people don't demolish the house, they clean it.
But did you notice all the buildings that got demolished in Waco, Sandy Hook? I mean, I'm just saying, I research these things, and I got to be real with you. If you want, I'm sorry, I got to turn to Alex Jones. It's like, here's what happened. They needed a narrative to create something. They're trying to get more liberals voted in, right? Can you imagine if we had veterans that were in that school building, security guards? Or if it was like when I don't go to the mall and I don't go to the liberal hospital in Durango, Colorado, where it says, no guns, come shoot us. I mean, I literally looked at the security guard that cut me in line to get his fat ass a burrito when I was hungry, up for 3 days with my wife while she was having our baby. You know, it's like, I was so mad. I was like, hand the candy bar over. You know what I mean? I was like, these people have no idea what they're doing. Right. Ignorance at the highest level. They're attacking churches and veterans. We should be feeding homeless veterans. Every time I see a homeless veteran, it's like, are you kidding me? We're supporting a DACA baby and we're not feeding a veteran. And then I hear about your kid. And I'll tell you what, man, I got to tear my eye, because I know what it's like to lose somebody to gun violence and all this other stuff. How stupid it is that these people go, we're making a new film, Coming to America 15, and we're going to show how the shooter came in and who didn't do their job. And you know what that proves? Nothing. They need to put away the gun-free zone, just like what Donald Trump said. See, everybody cuts what Donald Trump says and makes it a different narrative. He's trying to do the art of the deal. He's going to sit there and he's going to say, well, if you guys think this is what we need to do, you throw your part of the bill in, because he knows they're not going to agree. So nothing's going to happen. He's going to save the Second Amendment. And I hate when people say, well, he's a true Trumper and he just doesn't look. No, I've been mad at Trump a couple of times because he says some stupid stuff on tweeting that you just don't need to say. But he also does something that no other president did. Talks to the people. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if when your son was killed, I don't remember who was president, I think it was Ronald Reagan, you know, when your son was killed.
Wasn't it Bush in 2002?
That scumbag, oh, I'm sorry, I got my time frames mixed up. That scumbag, that demon, dynamic whore. I'm just kidding. But can you imagine if these people said, look, tweet, we have a problem with guns, you know, and mentions your son's name and again, Kate and all these other people. Which Donald Trump did. He took pictures with you guys. He gave you a hug. He said, you know what? I can't promise I'm going to fix it. I'm assuming. I can't promise anything, but I'm going to work my ass off to get it through. That's what these people have to remember. We don't have a king. We have a president. And then someone said earlier, I got hammered because I did like a news thing, but I used a different name. So somebody said, oh, well, Donald Trump wanted to say he's going to be president until he dies. He's 71 years old.
Yeah.
He could die tomorrow. He'll be 80 years old, 78. He'll be 78 years old. It's like he lived the rest of his life as a president. Can you say that's a bad thing? I'm 32. You know what I mean? I might not make it till tomorrow. I might walk outside. It's red dawn. People are falling from parachutes. We have no weapons to, keep Ganjan Hu Hung or whatever's coming from North Korea. I mean, people are so dumb. They're like, just enslave us. Here you go. Take my gun. Just stupid. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just think that people need to start thinking for themselves and not just be allowed to be influenced by any politician that just want to give you some information or tell you, no, this is the right way to do. Think the pros and cons. That's why God gave us a brain to think.
And for all those Obama lovers, I'm talking to you out there, all those Obama lovers who are mad right now because people went in with undercover cameras and hidden devices to record him. He admitted about Russia. He admitted about the illegal people voting. Basically, he admitted to treason. Put his ass in jail. I'm sorry. And same thing with Hillary Clinton and her crazy, loony, AIDS-filled husband, Bill Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I got to pull up Barack. I'm just kidding. You remember when he dropped the mic?
Yeah, that was.
Just drop the mic.
I think our society was going down for quite some time because of the brainwashing at schools, and history isn't being taught as a fact anymore. Everybody wants to adjust. Everybody wants to change something. History is history. You say it as it happened. If it was horrible, you say it was horrible. If it wasn't, then you say it wasn't. But you need to say what it is and not change it and embellish it and change it just because you don't like how it turned out. Look, Hungary was a huge country, and during the war, every neighboring country took big chunks of Hungary. Hungary is a very small country. California used to belong to Mexico. We won in the war. We bought it. We paid for it. So what? Now we're going to
better guns. I'm just kidding.
What'd you say?
I said they should have had better guns. No, I'm just kidding.
No, they drank too much tequila, probably.
Hold on. Oh, I got to do you a favor. I'm dropping the mic for you. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, had to do it.
Yeah, no.
I laughed so hard in my life when I saw Barack Obama kill our nation in a speech. Talk about killing Christian Americans, talking about killing white people, talking about how the slaves built the White House. Who the hell writes this guy's speeches? I mean, I've never seen so many stupid things come out of somebody's mouth. And he talks real slow so he can remember his lines because, he's the puppet for the elite.
Stand it. I would always get up and walk away because I told my husband this. He always paused with every word. Look, I'm not saying Donald Trump is perfect. I'm being realistic. But, I don't think so either. Carry himself. He speaks what's on his mind. As a person like you and me, I'm not a politician. I would rather somebody make a mistake and misquote something, but be honest and truthful about what he's saying and what his intentions are, than have somebody very polished and very artistically embellish the words and give a presentation because it's not honest. But
well, check this out. I'm going to make you laugh. Somebody said, Eric, you should run for office. I didn't even know I could run for office. I was like, I'm afraid to run for office because I'd be shot the first day. I'd be so honest. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm looking at the book, everybody. I don't know what they've been doing for 8 years. I'm like, I'd be like so honest. I'd be like the guy they kill in the Italian mafia. I'd be like, well, it looks like I'd be like the guy reading the notes. Harry met Sally and everybody's doing crack cocaine, run for the hills. I would just be too honest. I wish I could get back on the Alex Jones show and shake his hand because they're trying not only to monetize the victims. They're not wanting to interview you. They're not wanting to interview the people who lost kids. You know who they have on TV? And I always forget to talk about Juan Williams and Don Lemon, these two stupid idiots that call themselves Christians and call themselves black men. Yeah, they're more like feminine fairies. I know real strong black men that would look at these guys and go, what the hell did you just say about the African American population? You have no idea what you're talking about. My brother-in-law, Gina's sister's married to a black guy who took this we 23, our mother-in-law gave it to us, and found out he had white in him. It was like this. He's like, oh, no. I was like, no. But that's what's going on in America. People wake up. There's no such thing as you're a solid this or that.
No, people wake up. They need to check their facts. Voting is a big issue. I mean, for people that do not speak English, to go and vote, okay, they'll get it in Spanish. I don't know what other languages they have their ballots, but Americans can't even understand the ballots. My husband is an attorney, and sometimes I will ask him, what does this say? Because they word it a certain way, but it means the opposite. And you can't understand. That would be against the law, because the average American people, what's their grade level now, educational-wise? I mean, fourth grade or sixth grade. I mean, they read at that grade level. I'm not saying everybody just finished fifth grade or sixth grade, but people can't understand the wording. It's like I went to with my husband this week to Chris Holden, Assemblyman Chris Holden had a program on Prop 4757 and AB 109, and victims that I know that lost their children to homicide said, oh, I voted for Prop 57 because that's going to help me. And I said, how is that going to help you? I said, did you read what you voted for? Oh, I didn't understand. Well, then if you don't understand, then you should ask somebody, because people like that are passing bills that are affecting all of us. And all of these bills are affecting me right now, affecting millions of others who have suffered a loss. Not even at the hands of an illegal alien. It could be by an American citizen. It doesn't matter. But everybody is paying the price because you're letting out pedophilias out, pedophiles. How many are you going to even allow your children to walk to your mailbox to pick up the mail, because you're going to be afraid that somebody's going to molest them? We're going to be
I'm afraid to go to the damn mailbox. I am afraid to walk to the mailbox. I'm looking over my shoulder going, all these freaks and sheiks. I'm like, oh my, these feminazis, oh my God. And it's just being honest.
What happened with allowing your children, like when my daughters were young, I would allow them to go play outside. Kyle that called in, I see Scott is on the phone. Scott just, on the watching. He just had a little baby last year. And think about it. You are the next generation. You young people, you need to stand up and make a stand and have your voices heard, because if you don't, there's not going to be an America for your children, for your grandchildren. That's just a fact.
Well, and let me add a side note real quick, and I'm not going to talk about names or anything. I've been forewarned. I'm just kidding. But we need to get rid of judges that are voted in who take the rights of parents, lawyers and judges who go and party together. It's just nuts. These people are all crooks. They throw keys in a glass jar and everybody has fun. It's just, we need to get honest and people with integrity. It's disgusting. It's almost like who wants to be a whore tonight, and they all have like a degree. You know what I mean? It's like, well, judge blah blah blah, and the attorney over here who's against the poor American citizen standing up for the DACA baby. I mean, have you seen some of these things? They're like 67 years old crying on Facebook. I'm going back to Mexico. They're like 87. They've lived a long life. You know what I mean? They probably got stage 4 cancer or something. They're like, oh no, I'm going to die back in Guadalupe Galar. Just stupid. I mean, it's like,
what's really, when you're saying we need to get judges off the bench, Judge Horan in Pomona, I was in court with another family one time, and this judge did me wrong, because after my son's killer was sentenced, they escorted me out of the court, and I said, okay, do we back after lunch so I can say my impact statement? You know what the prosecutor's answer to me was? no. He put his arm on my shoulder and said, no, he's gone. And I said, no, he's not. He's downstairs in the holding unit. But I said, I want to exercise my rights to say my impact statement. And he said, oh, he's gone. I said, no, he's not. He's downstairs. And he says, we don't have the funds to bring him back up. That was the end of my impact statement. When I complained to Dan Steve Cooley, his special operations manager was a woman, and she said, well, let me check. For 2 months, they couldn't locate him in what prison he was at. And then finally, when they located him, she says, oh, 120 days is over. We can't do that anymore. And I got really mad. I said, damn it, I pay taxes. I'm a law-abiding citizen, and you guys are protecting. Let me go to prison. I'll drive myself out there. He was in Susanville up north. And I said, I'll pay my way. I want to sit down.
Hold on. She can come back.
You know what she said?
Huh.
Oh, we can't do that because that's violating his rights. Victims have no rights. I can.
You know,
this,
it's funny.
this-
You know what would heal America right now, and I'm probably going to get myself in a little trouble somewhere. Getting rid of illegal criminals, deadbeat dads, and people who don't go with the American values that have been in our Constitution and amendments since 1776. I'm sorry. What's her name? Kelly Clarkson or what? I forgot who it was. Kelly something. If you want to go move to, I was wrong. Ashley Judd, who wants to go move to the Middle East and live in Mosul. Good luck. And when you see all these poor babies who, that are having buildings fall on them and stuff like this, look, I'm going to be honest. In the Bible, it says that we should stand for women and children. But it also says in Romans and Acts that we need to submit also to a worldly government, and we need to follow worldly laws, and we cannot be pushovers and allow our kids to be murdered by illegal criminals. And I know it's getting late, and pretty soon you're going to have to go, but I'm going to let you finish with your thought. And here's...
I just wanted to say this same judge, I went with another family to court with her, and they did not allow her to say her impact statement. So by that time, I had learned what the laws and the rights were. And I says, you tell him that you want to have a meeting with your prosecutor and tell him that you want to exercise your rights to say your impact statement. Within 2 weeks, the offender was brought back to court, and she was able to say her impact statement, and she was very emotional, and the judge told her to cut it down, to cut it out.
What's the last update on the case?
What's the what?
What's the last updated thing with the case? I mean, have you guys used this case to help further the investigations of other cases that are going on, or are they going to try to do something? I mean,
yeah, here in California, we have Morris's Law that's supposed to be Victims' Bill of Rights, but it's not working 200% because they failed this family. But luckily, I talked to them in time, and they were able to go back to court. And she texts me every now and then and tells me, Agnes, that made such a difference in my life, my own healing. I didn't have that. I didn't get that. So, and then every step of the way, I get nothing but obstruction and push. It's like I don't matter, and it's really infuriating because I do matter. I have a voice. Somebody stole my son's voice because the government didn't protect him. And
they stole your grandson's father.
Yes.
And now they don't have someone. They don't have their voice being heard. It's nuts.
And I am not speaking only for myself as an angel mom. I'm speaking for all the other angel moms and all the victims out there.
And you're speaking for your daughters and your husband. You know what I mean? You're speaking for your whole family. And I'll be honest with you, I'm jealous you got to hug the president. I mean, really, it's the truth, right? It's like, I listen to his tweets all day long. He can at least give me a hug and a kiss on the cheek while I'm listening to him bitch all day. It's like, you know what I mean?
You meet him someday.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to say the B word, but I just mean, come on now. I mean, it's just honest.
I am very blessed. After my son was killed, first I thought God is punishing me for something. because I took him away from his father because he was very abusive. He almost killed me 3 times, and used to beat me pretty much every weekend. My left side of my cheek, I couldn't open my eyes. I was black and blue, and I couldn't live like that. I didn't want my son to live like that, so I came back to the United States. But I see Ildiko, somebody in Hungary is watching. But I said I'm not going to live like that and put my son through that. And, you know, I am blessed. I asked God, I said, please guide me as to what you want me to learn from this. And through all the tragedy and the pain and suffering that I have endured, God opened my mind, my heart, to be able to help to turn my anger and hatred towards the guy that killed my son into something positive, into a positive energy to help other victims. And that's what I did for 13 years. And I'm very blessed to have been given that opportunity. And I always ask, I'm not a very religious person, but I'm a very, very good Christian. And I live like God is watching me every second of my days. And I'm a good, honest person, but I always ask for guidance as to what He wants me to do. And I believe maybe this mission.
I want you to hear this real quick because I think this is going to help your heart. This is going to be, let's see, I just want to make sure I got the verse right. Psalm 89, 1 through 2, 1934. I will always sing about the Lord's love. I will tell of His loyalty from now on. I will say, your love continues forever. Your loyalty goes on and on like the sky. I'm not reading the King James Version, which I usually do. Once in a vision, you spoke to those who worship you. You said, I have given strength to a warrior. I have raised up a young man or woman from my people. I will not break my agreement nor change what I have said. You're a warrior. I think what you're doing is you're standing up for a lot of those people who don't have a voice. I think sometimes when people see you cry, those are tears of anger, and I'm with you. There is a righteous rebuke in the Bible. I am sick. My wife told me that these people don't swear on the Bible no more. They just have you swear on the court. Basically saying God doesn't matter. We all go and whore it around with each other. We'll listen to your case if we want to. I kind of wish it would be nice if we had humbleness and more people like you out there willing. I mean, even me doing this, which is funny because I don't know half the people that email me from the Middle East. But I mean, it's like you put yourself out there. I'm a nobody. I mean, I'm just me, and I used to do this for a living or whatever. But here's the truth. Keep doing what you're doing. I don't care if I see your picture 49 times with Donald Trump and I'm jealous. Keep doing what you're doing because you're standing up for the little guy. Does he smell good, by the way? Does he have like cologne on or something? I always wonder because he's always wearing a suit. Is he like, they're always making fun of him because he's over 230 pounds. It's like the guy, who cares? Just who cares? No.
He's not heavy at all. He's very tall. And he's a very kind and compassionate man. When you talk to him, he listens to you. And I remember the first rally that I attended here in Orange County in California. He was leaving the stage and he was walking by where we were. And I had a big poster of my son. And I said, can I have him autograph this? And he said, yeah, go ahead. And Mr. Trump, Mr. Trump, Mr. Trump, Mr. Trump. We kept yelling and yelling. And he turned around, started signing our posters. He came to me, put his hand on top of my hand and said, is this your son? And I said, yes. He said, handsome man. I said, thank you. He said,
well, what's cool about Donald Trump that you don't get from all these liberal idiot demons like Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton? Well, she's passing out and falling over with an EMT following her. Donald Trump actually shakes the people's hands who voted for him. He's doing what he can. We live in, I think, the last days of the book of Revelation, Revelation 18. It's just nuts that people will sit there and go, this guy's a crook, he's raped women, when reality is all these people who are against Donald Trump are the ones who did the raping and the killing of Gaddafi and Benghazi and Haiti. I mean, the track record keeps going on. Hillary, who cares about the 33,000 emails? I would love to see a public execution like they did with Saddam Hussein with Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. I'm sorry, I just got to be honest. I cannot believe that these people who killed all these people worse than the Gambino family. I mean, she's out there killing people worse than AIDS. You know, the gun's always 15 feet away from the body, the wound's on the opposite side. Bill Clinton's getting something somewhere in some Oval Office. It's just nuts. Are these people ever going to go to jail? Stop toying with the American public and fire Jeff Sessions.
And let's not forget when Hillary Clinton was being interviewed about the Benghazi, and she made that comment that absolutely rips my heart. And I didn't know any of the men that were killed, but when she said, what difference does it make now? Really? My son has been gone, will be gone 16 years next month. April 27 will be 16 years. And what difference does it make? If I would have been there, I think I would have punched her face, and I'm not an aggressive person. How do you tell a mother of somebody that was about to be killed and massacred because she didn't want to get up? She didn't want to get out of bed and answer her freaking phone to save
What
those
about the guy that sodomized to death? He sent her over 100 emails saying that we need your help.
Oh, that wasn't good enough for her. 100 means nothing compared to the 33,000 that she deleted. You know, forget about those. Just any other stuff. If anybody would logically and honestly check her out and check Bill out, I think they both should be sent to Guantanamo Bay. I'll tell you, because the crime that they have committed, the treason to this country, the betrayal, it is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. And then
I can make you a promise right now, and I am not going to go full Stephen L. Anderson on you. But I'm good, and he's a pastor from Arizona. He gets a little radical, but he's got a good point on a lot of things. But I'm going to tell you the truth. This is not the last world. There is another world. We will be judged. And I hate to be so brutally honest, but they're going to pay for their sin and burn in hell for the things that they did on this earth. And even if they don't go to jail or get judged, they're going to pay for it, because those that hurt children should have a millstone around their neck and be thrown into the ocean. Biblical proof.
I posted, Sunday, I was just so upset after my daughter got that letter from California Department of Corrections on Saturday, that I started, I think it was Saturday night, I started posting some tweets to Jeff Sessions. I don't know if he reads them or not, or just goes in some kind of dark file into the abyss, or who knows. But where is Jeff Sessions? Why in the heck isn't he out here in California fighting this madness, allowing us to be slaughtered, allowing the government to take over, to take our freedom, to make everybody afraid because they take our powers away and give it to the illegals and to the criminals? Where is Jeff Sessions? And I respect the man. I met him once. I don't know him. I just took a picture with him. But come on, get the National Guard over here if you have to. Start cleaning up this mess in California.
Jeff Sessions was sitting there on the microphone going, I recuse myself. I recuse myself. I recuse myself. Oh, wait, I'm going down with Hillary. I recuse myself. No. I mean, he's connected to the KKK with the same people who taught Hillary Clinton to be a crook. I think they need to fire Jeff Sessions. They need to hire Janine Shapiro, or, I mean, it's not Shapiro. What is it? Janine, whatever.
Janine, you mean?
Yeah, Judge Janine, sorry. I was off track there for a second. Giuliani, you know what I mean? Giuliani wasn't even perfect during 9/11, but they should hire somebody who knows the law. He's just he's a scared little girl wearing shoulder pads in a man's world, and he can't handle the law. You know what I mean?
You know, I'll tell you what, I know I can't become a president of the United States because I wasn't born here, but I can take any other office. Hire me. I'll clean up this mess. Put me in.
Yeah, Dina just made a point. My wife, she said, they hired Obama. We will get you in there. We will get you in there with a fake birth certificate.
I wouldn't work for Obama if they paid me an endless amount of money. And I wanted to give a shout out to my best friend in Hungary, Marcipan Gita Sia. See, you got people watching from Brazil and Hungary. You're going all over.
Hey, listen, I want to give a shout out to all the traders in America. Let me spit some game real quick. I'm gonna give a shout out to all the traders in America. You should run for the hills if they take our guns, because the first people who are going down are every single person who, just like you, were victimized by the government, who were victimized trying to protect their kids, who were victimized when they came back over from being overseas, fighting in these wars where we go kick down doors and police the world when we need to stop fighting this fake narrative war on terrorism. You want to know who the real terrorists are? I just got to be honest, because I know our government. We go and we terrorize people. We do false flag shootings. We don't stand for the American citizen who lost their poor baby. Your son, no matter how old he was your baby. And they let him, like many other people's kids, be victims of the system that sucks. I'm just going to call it like it is when Lisa and Jennifer get on and they see this tomorrow, because they're going with their Donald Trump flag and they're carrying their gun and they're pointing and doing, well, I don't know what they do, but I'm just kidding on that part. But, when they're doing what they do and they're getting serious. We have been failed by idiots. We elect the same stupid people, the Bushes, the Kennedys. Sorry, Obama's a Bush. I'm sorry. Bill Clinton was a Kennedy. Let's just get this all out there. They're all connected. They're all family, and we need to get rid of them all. Ted Kennedy, it was like a grace of God that he died. You know what I mean? It was like, well, this guy's evil. Beak, he's dead. You know what I mean? It's like they need to be honest. We are sick of having hypocrites in office. Sorry, I became Alex Jones for a second. No.
That thank God for Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been a godsend to this country, because he is the one and only true patriot that cares for the United States and wants to restore what America was, and he doesn't want to lose it. If we hadn't had Donald Trump, we would have been all, you know what. If I'm allowed to say that. But thank God for Donald Trump, because he is almost like a savior that came, that was put on our path to clean up the mess, mess and open up and divulge all the corruption that's happening in this country. Honestly, before Donald Trump, I knew things were like this and that, but I never thought it was to this extent. And I'll bet you that even it's a lot more than we even know now. But thank God, and God made.
I made a video about a year and a couple months ago. And I was pleading for our lives. I was like, I don't want to go to World War III. I was crying. I was like, if you guys send Hillary Clinton to office, we're all going to die, baby. I was like, please think of I was like that lady off of The Simpsons. Please think of the babies and the kids. I was like, we got a problem in America. It's called diseased Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. No, we're blessed. And I cannot... I feel bad for the liberals, for these whining little snowflakes that trash him no matter what, because no matter what Donald Trump does, they hate him. If you, like illegal aliens, hate him, get out of our country. He's not your president. He is our president. And I'm proud to call him my president. He's my president. He's not yours. Go back to your country and call your president your president.
Let me pull a Gina on this one, and I'll say this in the microphone that I purposely don't plug in anymore because I don't need a microphone. This is a prop. This is made to make people laugh because everybody's got to have one. Bye, Felicia. You know what I mean? Like, adios. See you later. Can't wait till you leave. What's the other phrases that they say? I forgot. I was going to go Italian on this one. Mi chiamano. I couldn't wait for you to leave in the first place. I'll buy your ticket for you. Oh, wait, taxpayers already do that.
Yeah, exactly. I went down on a tour of the border.
Just kidding.
On a tour of the border. It is absolutely amazing what a despicable condition and unsafe situation it is for the Border Patrol. We're down 2,000 Border Patrol agents. As it is, we need to hire 5,000, but at least hire the 2,000 to put us where we started off, because they're jeopardizing, putting their lives in danger every day to protect this country. And if you knew what goes on down there, you would think, oh my gosh, this is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Well, I'll tell you what else is unbelievable. The fact that I looked at the clock and it's already 11. I'm like, damn, we've been going off. No. But to be honest, I'm just playing around. But to be honest with you, here's what's really unbelievable. If people watch this, which I know they will, don't trust the little number on top. I get like 25 emails at 4:30 in the morning. And then at 11, I got 200, which is nuts, by some guy named Philip. You know what I mean? Sorry, Phil. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're watching this and you still think Barack Obama's not a traitor, and there's no such thing as the Bilderberg Group, the Georgia Stones, the Illuminati, the Masons, all these people dancing in dresses, having a beer like the Simpsons, singing and playing together with an agenda, you're a complete idiot. I want to thank you for coming on, because this is going to be shared. I'm actually going to share this with many other people. I want to get Outlaw Morgan on. I would love, he's got a filthy mouth and a crazy attitude, but can you imagine what he'd be saying? What about Joe Biggs? I mean, they'd be going off right now. They'd be like, listen, you have no idea the march we're going to be doing on Tuesday. They're just like horns everywhere. I mean, they're just like, yeah, I mean, they just got stuff going. These people have no idea how they're killing our children. And if the liberals are still standing behind it, like my family, go play outside, I'm boring. You know, I mean, then we just have to find truth. And I hope people read their Bibles. I didn't have mine, it's upstairs. But I truly believe we're living in some terrible times.
I just hope that everybody out there listening, don't get intimidated by your politician. Go find out who your legislature is, who your senator is, congressman, in phone calls, start sending emails, start sending letters, because that's what makes a difference. Because if the other side is loud and aggressive about open the borders and no wall and this and that, and we don't fight back, they're going to think that we don't care. We do care. And that's why our voices need to be heard even louder than theirs. And I want to wish everybody a good night. Be safe out there. May God bless you and always protect you. And may God always put a bubble of protection around our president, his family, his children. So he will, and none of you watching will ever have to endure what I have endured, along with thousands of other American citizens, by losing our children. And take care. And, you know, I'm here. If anybody needs anything, you know, they can always find me. I'm available.
And it was when we do videos, you should always pop on whenever you want, because I'm going to be honest with you. They have taken loving and laughing and living and leading and being people away from the home. And if you have Christ or a picture of the cross in your house, you're a criminal. We need to fight against we have a spiritual battle going on. We need to fight against all these people. I want to thank you for jumping on the video. You didn't have to do this, so I appreciate you.
And one last thing, you want to speak up for this country, greatest country in the world, because you don't want to have a picture like this with your children.
Yes.
This is the last picture with my son. And I know it's very difficult. Imagine for me that lived it. So people go out there and speak up and fight. I know there's nothing I can do for my children and the other angel moms. There's nothing we can do, but collectively, we're all doing a little bit of something and speaking up and fighting for this country. And I'm not going to stop. Neither should you, because this is our country and we need to regain it.
Well, I want to thank you. And, you know, sorry, I can't believe that people don't see that picture that you have and think of their own kids. So you have a great night. I know it's only 10 o'clock for you, but I'm about to, no, I'm kidding. I'm still wide awake. I'm going to go upstairs. I'll be up till 2 in the morning. It's just nuts. Thank you for everything that you've done. I hope that you start letting, you need to share more. You need to keep us up to date with what's going on. People need to wake up. This is not a liberal agenda. This is not a conservative agenda, a Republican, a Democrat. This is a life agenda, a spiritual battle that we are fighting every single day. I'm sick of people putting everything into a group. Your kids matter. My kids matter. It's just disgusting. So thank you for everything, and I hope you have a great night.
Thank you, and God bless you, and God bless all of you. Thank you. It was a pleasure anytime.
Thank you. You have a great night.
Thank you.
So before I end the video,
I'm going to do a quick prayer. Lord, thank you for the opportunity to serve and get the truth out there. I know I say some things I don't mean with trying to get the truth out there. And hopefully, if people find it on their hearts, they will research everything that's going on with the angel moms and the kids that have lost their lives to these criminals that are robbing our country. It's in your name I pray, amen. So you guys have a great night. Thank you, and God bless. And Agnes and all the rest of the angel moms, be strong, of great courage, and know that Christ is real and he's with you every time that you guys have a tear come out of your eye. Have a great night.